Welcome to Watching Worst Films, the podcast in which two men watch every Razzie Worst Picture winner. I am one of those men. I'm Jericho Reed, and with me is Kyle Szymanski.
The other male, yeah. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
So, this week we are tackling 2016's Golden Raspberry Worst Film winner, which is Hillary's America, and I want to get the subtitle correct, The Secret History of the Democratic Party.
Okay.
So
we forgot, yeah, we both forgot what this was called.
if we
Hillary
remembered
film,
that, if we remembered that subtitle, that might have clued us in a little bit on the Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown-esque history element to the film. But we are getting ahead of ourselves.
We are.
So we start off this podcast every week with the same old things. What was your experience, your knowledge?
My knowledge of going in is I remember the 2016 presidential election. Like it was yesterday. Time is let forward.
Yeah.
I know big Hillary, Hill Dog.
Mm-hmm. For the listeners at home, you'll be able to see when we put the social media clips up. Me and Kyle are wearing bootleg Hillary Clinton t-shirts, which maybe I'll tell you the story of this here. So I got these shirts in LA. There is a thrift store. It's a wrap that sells clothes used from film and TV productions. And I was there having a look, had a sale, and I saw a bootleg Hillary Clinton shirt. And I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. Should I buy these for our Hillary episode? So they've all got tags telling you what the production is. So they've got like a little code, and then on the wall there's like, oh, BCS, Better Call Saul, like AG, American Gigolo, whatever. And the codes for these ones were FLSH, and that wasn't on the key.
Okay.
And so I was like, what could this be? I was like, oh, is it Flash? Does Barry Allen travel back in time? Because knowing loosely what the plot of The Flash is about, I was like, oh, he travels back to 2016 and he makes sure that Hillary Clinton wins the presidential election. And that's where the timelines fracture. And that's we get this alternate reality. So I've been going around thinking, I was like, oh my God, the Flash movie is going to be about the 2016 US presidential election. It's going to be amazing. And so I was like, with just the smallest piece of doubt that this could be a possibility, I was like, I need to buy these shirts because that would be the funniest thing imaginable.
It's the funniest, even if even if your theory was incorrect.
Yeah,
I still love owning this. I still think this is funny. The fact it's 2023 makes it even funnier. It'll go nice with my Jeb Bush collection.
So I have since seen a preview screening of The Flash, and unfortunately that was not a part of the film. My theory has been disproved. But nevertheless, we do have these weird I'm With Her bootleg shirts.
So what are they from then?
I don't know.
No.
Don't know. Maybe listeners help us out. If you see a production shot within the last couple of years with I'm With Her shirts, then let us know.
You know, this one has a stain on it. Right?
Yeah, it has a weird yellow.
I think it's been sitting for a while. So there's every chance this was from the film we're reviewing today. And I like that. Because Dinesh would get a bootleg. Like, 100%.
So yeah, Dinesh D'Souza hasn't profited from us watching the film as we pirated it.
Good.
But neither has Hillary Clinton profited from this because these are illegitimate shirts. Yes. So yeah, we pirated this, and without our financial contribution, the film had a budget of $5 million. Would you like to guess as to how much it made at the box office?
Okay, so I'm saying that in this film, Dinesh?
Well, you can decide his first name. I thought his surname was D'Souza, but in the film they call him D'Souza.
I was going to go with Dinesh. Dinesh sounds right. He speaks about his previous film, the Obama one. I don't know what year that was. I assume 4 years to 8 years beforehand.
Yeah, you're right. It was 2012. every presidential election,
like a World Cup, he gets ready.
Dinesh makes a film and goes to prison.
He said that one broke the top 10
in
America for box office or I don't know, whatever, top 10 something.
Top 10
Republican films, yeah. So, and I assume that made money. So 5 million, I'm gonna say, this isn't me being thrown off again like Hudson Hawk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go half. I'll go 2.5.
It made 13 million.
Fuck.
So almost 3 times your gross. Dinesh, write that man a check, studios, because those returns are not often found in Razzie history.
And I will give him credit before we even get into it. He did spend that 5 million. Like, this is an elaborate mock documentary.
Goes up on the screen. Yeah. He's a committed filmmaker. The Kubrick of the conservative realm. Yeah. So I guess I didn't really say my history with this film, similar to you, not knowing anything. But I went in expecting another My Pillow Guy movie. I expected quite a dry, talking head style expose of Hillary Clinton, of Clinton corruption, and that isn't really what we got.
No, and even on following that, I expected a Fox production, I guess is what you could,
I expect to watch Fox News for 2 hours.
Yeah, basically, with a bit of maybe some stock footage, archival stuff, and gotcha moments and all that. Like, that's what I expected. A YouTube documentary is almost the level. It's not what we got though.
Yeah, so what we got, my spidey sense started tingling when it begins with a musical number. So it's like a Lin-Manuel Miranda-esque big show-stopping number. Yep. There's like a puppet donkey dancing around like a full band.
Yep. It's extravagant. It is. It's the Hillary of Hamilton's. Like, it was amazing. We both lit up as well because we were expecting Mike Lindell behind the table for 2 hours.
Yeah, we were going to be like, this is going to be straight into it, and instead we get a little bit of jazz, a little bit of the old razzmatazz.
I'm impressed.
And there's animation that pops up, kind of like quite hellish animation. It's like basically Hillary Clinton with laser eyes as like scenes from American history pop up, like Andrew Jackson, KKK, marching slaves.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't expect fucking Al Capone to be flashing up on my Hillary Clinton documentary, but here we are. So yeah, like I like the Godzilla Hillary kind of effect it has. I was really, really fucking up for this. This was a great way to like reel me in. I've been suckered before, I say it all the time, but yeah, you had me here, Dinesh.
Well, my issue was that this makes Hillary Clinton look infinitely cooler than she actually is, where she's portrayed to be some sort of like satanic Godzilla type figure. Yeah. I was like, oh, you know what? I wouldn't mind. Maybe I am with her.
That's I've learned from this election with Trump, and it's the same with Obama when he was demonized and like don't make them look cool.
He's a socialist. Yeah. So we get this big opening credits where they credit the composer Stephen Limbaugh. I don't know if he is a relative of Rush because he is black on Wikipedia, so we can't.
That's a no then, unfortunately.
We also get our little Fargo-esque disclaimer. This is a true story. No names were changed to protect the Democratic Party. Ooh boy, burn.
I mean, that's also really irrelevant for when we watch it because other than like Hillary and a couple of people, it is people that have been dead for 100 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't think Andrew Jackson's going to give a shit if he's...
Let's, to preserve anonymity, a man called Jack Anderson. No.
Jackson, yeah.
So we get off to quite the... like I said, my expectations certainly were quite formed and concrete going into this film. I was not expecting a prison drama starring Dinesh D'Souza.
I mean, because I don't really know Dinesh that well.
I know him as a name.
Yeah, it's a name that got floated around, especially after like this time, from 2016 to 2020.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he was a chinless Indian.
Yeah. So that's my note is it starts off with him doing his like criminal profile photography. And I'm like, come on, man, you're directing this. Come on, Jack. If you're directing this, know your angles. Like, do not show your profile if you do not have a chin.
Yeah.
This is quite astounding. He just is like missing the lower third of his face. Like you said, he looks like a Wojak. He looks like an incel meme. Yeah.
I think there's the trouble of shooting him as well because he is quite a small man. Yeah. So you can't shoot from below and do like the Hobbit effect to make him look taller because that's going to highlight the chin. So like unless you took an aerial shot at all times, there's just no way.
Just fit him with a prosthetic chin.
Yeah,
movie magic. Yeah. Give him. We saw Richard Nixon. He's in this film in archival footage. Give him like a big Nixon mask, a rubber Nixon mask. I am not a crook.
I said watching it, and I think it's just because we had Avatar in the brain. Like I genuinely think M. Night would be great in this role because the voiceover, the narration, the sort of whys. I'm teaching the convicts how to be better and learn their ways.
Yeah,
like. Him uncovering, like you say, the Da Vinci Code, National Treasure.
Twist at the end.
I would have loved it to have M. Night here. He would be perfect for this role. This is the village and stuff like that. Yeah, this is perfect for him.
Yeah, it takes a village, as we learnt in Hillary Clinton's book. It takes a village. Yeah. So what surprised me is like the Shawshank Redemption-esque element to this film. Because it begins with Dinesh serving hard time because he got sent away for
8 months.
For 8 months, which on Wikipedia it says he was in a halfway house. It seems like he's on like Rikers Island or like Alcatraz based on how he portrays it. Because so here we go. In 2012, D'Souza contributed $10,000 to the Senate campaign of Wendy Long on behalf of himself and his wife, agreeing in writing to attribute that contribution as $5,000 from his wife and $5,000 from him. At the time, the Election Act limited campaign contributions to $5,000 from any individual to any one candidate. 2 years later, D'Souza pled guilty in federal court to one felony charge of using a straw donor to make the illegal campaign contribution. He was sentenced to 8 months in a halfway house near his home in San Diego, 5 years probation, and a $30,000 fine. So he's laughing. Paid that back with the profits.
100%.
No fuss.
100%.
And that's where the film begins. Is he's doing hard time.
Well, it opens with him getting sentenced. Which is my first red flag.
Oh yeah.
It's you've got notes. You've got the notes.
Yeah. So it starts with a courtroom recreation, and the judge is atrocious.
He's atrocious.
Because with like some of these recreations, you could potentially be fooled into like, am I watching like actual footage?
Yeah. Especially in this day and age. 100%.
But there is no shadow of a doubt that you are watching a recreation because it is so stagey, and the judge is such a ham that you're like, he's not believable as any kind of legal authority. So right off the bat, I was like, everyone in this courtroom should be Razzie nominated.
Those are your exact words. I mean, the judge almost masked Dinesh as well because he's so hammy.
Yeah.
That it's like, okay, like, this is Dinesh being a bit awkward or something.
Yeah.
He's not going to run with this and go to prison and we're going to see him play chess with convicts. Like, this is going to just be a little bit and then he'll be real.
Yeah. While I can see the documentary while I was in prison.
Yes.
Here it goes.
Yes.
But that is not what we get. We do, however, learn that this is a sequel because neither of us knew that he'd made Obama's America in 2012. So little foreshadowing. I'm expecting this to be nominated for worst remake, prequel, ripoff. Sequel.
It is a sequel.
Yeah, because this is technically a sequel. So he plays like little clips from that film to be like, so I exposed Barack Hussein Obama, did you know, Cal? As a fraud. And his gotcha moment is amazing because it shows like Obama speaking to someone in a hot mic situation, and he's like, "Oh, let me be clear. This is my last election, and I'm a lame duck, so I'm really free to get things passed." I was like, "What? That's your big got you moment?" Is Obama saying like, "Oh hey, I'm out after this. This is my second term," and they're like, exposed.
Yes.
We also get Barack Hussein Obama meeting Justin Trudeau's dad. He had meetings with Fidel Castro, probably about bringing communism to the US. And D'Souza is like, I made predictions, and all of my predictions were proved true. And these predictions are basically probably just things that Obama had promised to do, like manifesto commitments. Yeah. It's like, would you believe that he would pass Obamacare? I called that. I called that when he said, I'm going to pass Obamacare. And then they're all just kind of like these like attempted got you moments of Obama being like, oh, we're going to double the national debt, folks. And
I like that. Was a bit like Barack Sanders there. I like that.
And so then De Souza spoke about making, if you make a film, why are you doing it again, Dinesh? I think, why are you doing it again, Dinesh? Did someone ask him that, or is that me asking him that?
It could be both.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone asks him.
No, I think that's maybe being like, okay, you've exposed Democratic corruption. How are you gonna? What's gonna be your Terminator 2? Like, what's gonna be the twist on it?
Yeah.
Why are you like? You've failed. You failed to. Oh, I think that's it. He was speaking about this sort of being like Barack Obama being the Antichrist and how he's gonna like he kind of failed. Like he's speaking about like, oh, the Democrats are going to enact their evil agenda. And I was like, what? After having been in office for 8 years. Like, what are they going to do now that they haven't already?
Well, that's why I think it was you saying it, because it's framed as if he's already exposed the Democratic Party and the evil. So now this is where even though we've been off the trails a little bit with the judge and the weirdness, this is going to be a hit piece on Hillary.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to start with Baby Clinton.
Yeah.
We're going to go through the bill, Benghazi, the makeover, the...
chilling in Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, or homophobia.
Haiti,
everything. Everything. It's just gonna be back with reenactments, because I see the budget now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna probably have 3 actors. In my head, I'm like, there's gonna be 3 actors to play Hillary. You know, from baby to college to like the 90s.
Yeah.
Lewinsky's gonna be Lewinsky. I was sure was gonna be an archival.
Oh, for sure.
Or
a double. Yeah.
She could be here in
there,
flash.
I was prepared for like we obviously watched we watched a couple conservative films. We watched the My Pillow film and we watched My Son Hunter. I was prepared for that. I was like, they're gonna have such a creep playing Bill.
Yeah.
He's gonna eat up the screen.
It's gonna be great.
He's this maniacal guy.
He's gonna be great, and like Hillary will be this cunning like Mr. Burns character. Like, I'm so excited for this.
What I was not prepared for was the act of killing the Shawshank Redemption, because we get these recreations of Dinesh in prison where he's like speaking to the other convicts and they're like, what are you in for? Murder, manslaughter.
Yeah.
Like, what are you in for? I gave someone too much money.
Yeah.
And we also get the what I call the Ron Howard voiceover, because Dinesh has like a kind of like whiny, nasally like it's just a little bit short of like, Dinesh claimed to be in prison for giving someone too much money. He in fact committed a felony.
Well, it is very like, and as soon as you said it, especially because of the prison set, like I got money.
Jeffrey Tambor is going to be.
I was like, oh my god, this is going to cut to Mike. Michael's going to be cut across, like talking to him. It's going to be like so fucking close. It was getting uncanny.
This is the story of one crime family who stole America, and the one man who could steal it back. This is Hillary's America.
100%. 100%.
So instead, he learns about the America of the street. He's sent for mandatory psychological conditioning.
Like you're skipping over that, right? Because that's my highlight of the fucking film is when he learns about violence in the streets, and he's interviewing these prisoners, and he's like, "So tell me about gangs. What are gangs?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "I learned gangs in prison. You know, I learned that they were just what's the biggest gang of them all?" And you called it like right away. It was like, it's the Democratic fucking Party, isn't it? It's politicians. And he learned about like how to do fraud and how from a prisoner. Basically, the whole documentary and his whole basis from this is from one prisoner that told him how his scam worked.
Well, that's
what like funds everything. That's where he gets the ideas from. That's where he connects all these dots and stuff. Is because one prisoner told him about the fraud scam he did, and he's connected that to everything else.
Well, we'll deal with this later on, is like how surprisingly progressive or indeed woke this film is for being like a conservative piece. Like, you think anti-cops, like anti-prison industrial complex, kind of like left-wing ideas, you would say. But this film is basically making the point that Dinesh learns to be a more efficient criminal through going to prison.
Yeah, well, the prison system, Obama's prison system works. It's kind of what Dinesh told me. You know, he was rehabilitated. He didn't need any further. He made some friends, played some chess.
Yeah.
Even he fist bumps the prison guard on the way out as well. You know, like, everyone's cool.
Well, this film is just, it's so weird because, like, there's kind of, like, passing acknowledgement of, like, prison rape where his cellmate is like, I don't want to come out and call my wife your name or whatever.
Yeah, and there's a big signs as well that, like, you know, it's when he's getting checked in as well. It is like there's big rape posters. And stuff. Like, because that's how a Republican thinks. You know, like, prison equals I'm getting raped by a black guy, and it plays to that pretty fucking quickly.
Yeah, like, it's so weird tonally where it's just like he's in a halfway house. He's not in, like, maximum security prison, and it's just like. It's so bizarre and, like, it's like, are you playing this for jokes? Are you playing this for
really?
Like, are we meant to believe that the real Dinesh went through this? Yeah. Are we meant to think about him getting traded around like Millhouse?
While a picture of Joe Biden looks on.
Yeah, grinning laser-eyed Joe. But yeah, it's very odd. So I'm a little bit disappointed that we don't get his mandatory psychological conditioning. Like, when you get sent to Clinton re-education camp, to kind of foreshadow how we would improve this film, I would just make this, like, balls to the wall and stand. I would make this like a Clockwork Orange if he comes out and he's like, I'm with her, woo, Democrat, and he has to get deprogrammed.
Yeah. I'm having him come out of prison. Tattoos, roided, shaved head, you know, like swastikas or something on him. I have him ready to lead the gang.
He's got the Hillary Clinton like H with the arrow, but that's somehow also a swastika.
Just twist it slightly.
Because did you know that Democrats were the real Nazis all along, folks? So one of the guys explaining his scheme, my note was, did Edgar Wright direct this? Because we get like whip pans. Yeah. It's like the guy is like, let me break it down for you. We commit an insurance scheme. Whip, we're onto the streets. Whip, we're going around old people's homes getting them to sign up for life insurance. Whip, we're then stabbing them. And it's like surprisingly stylish.
It is.
Considering the complete lack of juice which my son Hunter had. And this is a documentary and could get away with being far more lethargic. Mm-hmm. But actually has some small element of style.
I'm not even going to say small. There was more than competency here.
Yeah.
Like there's a shot, I don't know where it was. It's when Denisha's when does he do his hands? He's evil hands.
Oh, that's later. That's later. That's later. He's released.
We'll get there. We'll get to it. But that shot alone, I was like, there's lighting, there's framing, you know, there's something with artistic merit. I fucking say it. I'm not saying that this was wonderful. I'm not saying this is my, you know, Malick. This is my Scorsese and this is my move over the One. But like, I was expecting it to be boring to watch in terms of like stylistically, and it wasn't. And even the prison stuff that you're saying with the whipping, like the flashbacks, is really good. Yeah, so fair fucking play.
So when he's in prison, much like the Count of Monte Cristo, he uses this time productively to make his body into a machine and his mind into a temple. And so he checks out a bunch of books to learn about how crime works in America, which includes Mario Puzo's The Godfather.
One of my favourite books of all time. I love it. Have you read Mario Puzo's Godfather?
I haven't, no.
I read that in Asta, so that's where it all comes around. I've still got my copy.
Yeah.
I stole.
You criminal.
I'm going to be there.
It's page 1. Mario's like, steal this book. Okay, Mario.
When I'm doing my 8 months in a hardware house, it'll be because of that book. That is a bad book to learn about crime from. Like, not going to go on a tangent, but, you know, like, it's notorious for how much depth that goes into Sonny's penis.
You gotta run for office, Michael.
It's all like the Sonny's penis gets talked about for fucking like George R.R. Martin style. Like he goes in depth about it. There's a lot of weird stuff in Godfather. I think that's why I like it compared to the book. Yeah, to the film. Sorry, you are not going to learn how to be a good criminal.
It's not an instructional. Here's how to do it.
No. watch Godfather Part 2 and see the rise. But yeah, like I popped for that. I think it's the same copy as I've got as well. So I was like, that makes me really happy. What was the other book? Because I got distracted.
It's like the other ones are irrelevant. Like I think it's just some like it's like it's non-fiction. I think that's what makes The Godfather stand out. Is like he's not reading like The Count of Monte Cristo. No. He's not reading films about crime or punishment. He's not reading Crime and Punishment. No. It's quite dry stuff, and then just a little bit of light reading with The Godfather.
Yeah. It's a fucking A. Yeah, I did pop for that. That was great.
Well, my question, which I asked you, was when this film was released, because I thought that he was making this film as a kind of like hit piece, and I expect this to kind of have the coda of, but Donald J. Trump won, he defeated the demon, and everything's okay, and we just need to be careful about what form the Hydra is going to reappear in next. But this was released in July 15, 2016. So, like, by the time they finished this, like, she wouldn't have even won the nomination.
No.
So, like, that's why the tone is, like, it's, like, kind of more smug than fearful.
Yes.
Like, I was imagining Pearl clutching of, like, oh my god, she's, like, a demon, what's she gonna do? But it was, like, it's a peculiar tonal piece.
This is me just having my tinfoil hat on. I think the majority of this film was always made. The secret history of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
The Hillary stuff's tacked on.
Yeah.
So if Hillary didn't win, it could be Biden's America.
It could be noted Democrat establishment figure Bernie Sanders.
Yes. Bernie's America.
Yeah, exactly.
And we don't have to really
the independent senator for Vermont has been part of the satanic history of the Democratic Party.
Because this isn't, I mean, it's a pro-Republican Party film.
Yeah.
But it's not like pro-Trump necessarily. It doesn't pro-Jeb, it's not pro-Ted, it's not pro-anyone. He keeps that side. So I think this was in the can when he came out the can, and he's just tacked on this to get it in time for the actual election.
Yeah, he's quite an astute businessman, like Money for Old Rope. If he's like, I release the same movie every 4 years.
Yes, I changed the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Get the cheapest wigs. We'll get the cheapest body doubles. Shoot them from behind. Done.
Well, we looked it up on IMDb afterwards, and he does reuse some of the same actors. So clearly he's got them on retainer. Get the band back together for Biden's America.
But that's my point. Like Lincoln, who was the one from does semi look like a Lincoln, like facial structure. The body double for actual Hillary is all from behind.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's why I'm like, he cheaped out and rushed it, And even the flashbacks to younger Hillary could have been in already, and it could have just been the general Democratic evilness.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that last bit is really rushed. It's done, just let's tack it on, let's cash in. Again, he's a businessman. The prison stuff was the dream. I'm Ace. I'm also, Nicolas Cage in National Treasure, a little bit of Shawshank. I'm a man of many talents. The actual title of this film is just rushed in.
Yeah. So he finally gets released from prison, and he sets out on this mission to expose the crime family of America. And he goes to somewhere in the Smithsonian, I think. And he sneaks into the back room.
That's a Democratic National Party place. That's pretty good.
Is it? It's like
because they're like welcome, like,
DNC headquarters.
Yeah. They're all like, oh, I can't vote Hillary because there's these T-shirts and they're all wearing them.
Oh no, that's later on when he goes in, when he infiltrates her campaign headquarters. This is when he's first. It might be like the Democratic Museum of like it's a similar like it's a political museum but skewed Democratic, and this is where he infiltrates the back room. As you said, he does the guru pose of interlocked fingers.
And he's shadowed as well. Like, he knows what he's doing. Like, you don't accidentally make yourself look like an evil overlord, Like, this
criminal mastermind.
Wonderful. 6 minutes in prison and I'm ready to take over,
Yeah. And unfortunately, we don't get my Ocean's 11-esque break-in scene. He just opens a door that says "Keep Out."
There was a part of me just when he was, when they were building up the Keep Out, that his former convict friends were going to help him.
The gang,
the
they
gang,
just sort of rush the
yeah,
security
we're all going to have their
clearance.
roles.
Yeah.
I've got my murderer, I've got my arsonist, my manslaughter.
The fraud guy
Yeah.
makes him a fake ID.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be so good. D'Souza's 11.
Yeah, 100%. He just fucking walks into
Yeah.
like a back room. This is the Andrew Jackson Lincoln stuff, is it?
Yeah, so he finds this box, which he's like, this box contains the hidden history of the Democratic Party. Here's the stuff they don't want you to know. It's like, out front, they will stress Lincoln, but did you know the Republican Party is actually the party of Lincoln? I'd never heard that before. That's quite a good line. They should maybe think about using that more. But so he opens this cardboard box and just like pulls out things, which is like, hey, Andrew Jackson, hey, colonialism is bad. Like, he was speaking about like the Native Americans being genocided, exploited, like eradicated, having like, he was almost doing a land acknowledgement. I was like, hang on, wait, this is very un-republicanism. Un-republican to suggest
To
that there's
offset
like
that, he never
guilt
once
over.
calls them Native Americans.
No.
They're Indians.
Yeah.
And he's from India.
Yeah,
So
he is Indian
he is
because he was born in
Indian.
Mumbai.
Yes,
So yeah.
100%. But he calls the Native Americans like cowboys and Indians.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, you're trying to
You're
sell me
playing
on
to
their
the
plight,
base.
but you're also playing to your base.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Those. When the evil Democrats were destroying those innocent Redskins, like you've got to be on their side too, Mr. Ganesh.
Yeah.
You can't put them down and use like outdated terms and slurs while you're defending them.
Yeah, like, it's so, this section of the film is like so confused, because it's one thing to have your cake and eat it, of like, it's speaking about like things which Republicans basically like either think is good or deny exists, and being like, but the Democrats are doing them. So it's like, he's speaking about like colonialism, and like, Republicans are always like, they're like, woke, the woke university wants to teach your children about colonialism. And they're like, what? No, hang on. Like, if colonialism isn't supposed to have been like a negative influence on history, why is Dinesh pointing to Democrats and being like, look what they did?
Yeah.
We get like a slip into Napoleon Dynamite narration where he's like, so they would give slaves 300 lashes, which is pretty much a death sentence. Gosh! We get like this whole flashback section. So if this isn't clear, once he opens the box, we then leap into the past and we're just seeing historical reenactments.
We're here for a long time. This is the point for me where I'm losing interest. Because I made a nice little joke about, Westerns. And I was like, the assassination of Hillary Clinton by the coward Donald Trump. There was some nice shots. And I was like, okay, there's some fun here. This is more than I expect. I didn't expect costumes and sets and locations and effort. But then quickly realized that I'm just going to be watching reenactments of these people are bad. And bad actors with a bad direction, with bad lines. So Andrew Jackson actually he's the worst, and he was Democratic because he owned slaves.
Yeah.
It's all everything we do. Everything you think the Republicans do, actually the Democrats did it.
Yeah.
That's the gist of it for the next for the entirety of this.
Well, we had our alarm. We had our runtime check, and I think we were like 40 minutes in while we were still deep in American history. And this section of the documentary is very wiggy. Like I said to you, it's like Mr. Show. It's like a Mr. Show sketch. And the worst offender being Calhoun, who his wig is one of the worst wigs I have ever seen in anything. It looks like a comedy sketch, and you've got these kind of like Tom Kenny-esque hams.
Tom Kenny looked like he played Davy Crockett and stuff.
Being
it was weird.
I'm a Democrat and I like owning my slaves. You're going to take my slaves away over my dead body. Have written here in all caps, no Republicans owned slaves.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So we get Abraham Lincoln, Daniel Day-Lewis, eat your heart out. And at this point, he's still pulling things out of what seems to be the original box. Like he pulls out some chains while he's speaking about slavery, and I was like, how much is in there?
Yeah,
I was like,
a little cardboard box as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's
not
one
like it's
single
metal,
filing box.
yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for him just to pull out like a statue of like Jeff Davis or something.
A handkerchief that just never ends, you know.
And my note for that was TARDIS box.
Yeah.
And this was when girlfriend entered the room and made a comment about like, hang on, what's this got to do with Hillary? Like, why? And she was like, oh, are they going to suggest like Hillary Clinton has been reincarnated throughout history? And she's like, are we going to see Hillary's reincarnation back in the antebellum South? And so that's the Doctor Who note for me. There is like, I would like this film more if they made out that Hillary Clinton is just some sort of like demonic figure, like The Shining. If they just had Hillary Clinton existing at various points throughout history of like, she assassinated Lincoln, she worked on like the slave ship.
I would fucking love it. Like, see, that's what I'm saying, because we are like halfway through here and Hill Dog's not even near. It's depressing me. Like it did. It knocked the wind out of my sails. He doesn't pace things very well, Mr. Dinesh.
No, the whole film is just like it's portrayed as some like red pill, like owned by your own logic, and the only people I can imagine this hitting with are just the most like party line people who are like, I stand, like, you have to be like just like a baby brained Democrats equals good, Republicans equals bad before this would have any impact on you, because it's just made for those people who like identify entirely with who they vote for. And be like, no, the Democrat Party was formed in like 1990 and they've never done anything bad. Meanwhile, the Republicans have dragged us into a war and said that Obama was born in Kenya. Because it's just so like it's like, have you heard of realignment? It's like, yes, Dinesh, for fuck's sake, there's no need. I, a Scottish guy with very little interest in American history, I'm aware of this. Why are you explaining it? Because they just like it's just like, hey, Republicans, we're actually the woke ones, which is bad. Wokeness is bad. Like they're like, Republicans are actually responsible for votes for women, and if you're a trad guy who believes that women shouldn't be allowed to vote, we're sorry. The Democrats made us do it. And so he leaves the Democratic headquarters, museum, whatever, and he steals their portrait of Lincoln and replaces it with one of Andrew Jackson.
Another 8 months, isn't it? You know?
Which, like, why they have a portrait of Lincoln
He's
there
still on probation.
anyway?
You shouldn't be doing this.
I just want like kind of like the Graduate ending with Dinesh riding away with his portrait of Lincoln on the bus, just wondering, what have I done? We then sort of leap forward into the civil rights era. And so this was your note here, was the Black Women's Showreel. Because like for my sins, I haven't got her name and internet is sporadic, so can't look her up. But the woman who is a black journalist in the film, her actor is the one person who's like actually bringing it.
I think, like I said to you, she was bringing it because you cut her scenes. It's a showreel because there's a lot of her shots where it's just her out in the back. So I was like, you're the focus. You've agreed to do this. So you can put this in your show. Like,
and the casting director's like, oh, that scene looks really good. What was that in? Well, nothing.
A TV
just a
CDs.
short.
Yeah. It's just something on the History Channel or something, you know, like bit part. Something about the history of America. Yeah, you can eat, because she does bring it, and she knows it as well. Like that's why, like, it's got that. I'm doing this for a show reel. This is Woodrow Wilson part, isn't it?
This is Woody.
So again, I know Woodrow because of Simpsons.
Yeah.
I love when he's watching Birth of a Nation.
Yep.
And the horse flies out the projector, and he goes out.
He chases it out in the White House lawn.
Sits there next to a green screen for a minute. I love that. That made me laugh. That's what I wanted more of. I wanted more of the creativity. Dinesh's one. I don't know if that was meant to be like a great train robbery kind of homage. You know, like when everyone thought the train's coming towards them. And Woodrow was so stupid he thought the horse. I don't know what the fuck it was about. But
I think he's just seen Ghostbusters. He's like, hey, I knew Dan Aykroyd had that fun time with the ghost. Maybe if I follow it.
There's 2 Ghostbuster remakes this year, isn't there?
We then get like a scene with, is it Air Force One? And we get like we get a butler, and I wonder if that was Lee Daniels, the butler.
Okay. Oh yeah.
That was my crossover. But we get like this film has a little bit of Lindell syndrome, where it just leans into the exposition, where Dinesh's role is basically to say, are you saying, or you're telling me, and then explaining it for all the dumbest people in the audience.
But that's,
Are you telling me that the politicians are hypocrites?
Yeah, it's the thing where you like to get the answer you want, isn't it? You form it in a question.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whatever I ask you, you have to tell me back as a question first, and I can cut it and get what I want.
Yeah.
The old reality TV trick. So like, Dinesh knows what he's doing here. Yeah, because he is interviewing. Someone's talking to him. I can't remember who it was at this point.
Is this Jonah Goldberg?
I know it was the lady.
The shameful Democrat of the black woman who's like,
I was talking about the big switch and all that. Yeah, that was that part. Again, I'm losing rapid. Get to Hillary. When we get into the fireworks factory, I want to get there. I want to see Hillary. This is my lowest point of the film, so I'm gonna need you to cut it here because it's all just blooding into like reenactments. I see the Ku Klux Klan. They're going on about lynchings.
Okay, right, okay. So we get a line from Dinesh. Write this down into your textbooks. As the South became less racist, it became more Republican. Which, like, I don't know. Again, like it baffles me that this film played in theaters, because you think the audience for this, being like stereotypical conservatives, he's basically being like this is gonna play in all the red states. And he's basically like, did you know that the Confederates were actually Democrats? Like, if you're a racist, you should be a Democrat. And it's like, this is gonna be self-defeating. Like, this works for like the Ben Shapiro college Republicans who are like, oh, actually, Democrats are hypocrites. Like, they're the real racists.
Because he is Indian as well, like, he has to lean into it and prove that how can I, an Indian man of different heritage, be a Republican? How can we be racist? Like, come on, use your head, use that big brain there.
It's just funny. It's just funny. I'm imagining like all the truckers in the Bible Belt seeing this with their like Confederate flags and just going home and like putting up pictures of Hillary. Like, well, I never knew. And Dinesh claims that only poor racists switched when they were like, oh, let's change parties to be with the more racist people. So we then get our guest Jonah Goldberg, another conservative idiot, who starts things off with a clip from Fritz Lang's Metropolis.
Yes, I forgot about Metropolis being in here. Metropolis is in this film more than fucking Hillary. It's great though, yeah. Just leave it on. Don't turn it over.
This is like when we were speaking about The Postman and they're all watching The Sound of Music, and you wanted like the film within the film where we just watch Universal Soldier in its entirety. Like maybe picture in picture of like, sure, Jonah Goldberg, you speak about whatever in the corner, and I'm just going to be watching Fritz Lang's Metropolis in the main. And we can have like Marauders score. But this is like, fantastic conservative contortion, because Dinesh is like, what's the difference between liberalism and progressivism? And Jonah Goldberg's like, well, progressivism this all goes back to the 30s in Europe. And progressivism is fascism, is communism. And I'm like, like Russia and Italy, those were peas in a pod. Notoriously.
He does say fascism and communism are the same.
He
actually fucking utters those words, which is hilarious.
Exactly. Like Russia, like communism, notorious for its like chummy relationship with fascism. So, I don't know. It shouldn't surprise me because it gets echoed now, but for people to bring that up in the historical context is just always hilarious. Of they're like, no, Russia and Italy, same side of World War II, as it turns out.
Americans lecturing me on the ideologies and intricacies of like post World War I Europe. That does get to me a little bit. You can fuck yourself. You can tell me all your lies you want about how the Republicans were trying to free the slaves. And they were actually good boys. But like, you can't stop this. Get back on track. Get back to Hillary.
Okay, so we get our woke KKK reboot. We get our little feminist Yas Queen moment. Where did you realize that women can be in the KKK too? The Grand Witch of the KKK. We get like a bunch of women sitting on a porch recruiting, and they're all wearing the robes and hoods, and that's when we discover that abortion is the new lynching.
Oh yeah, shit.
Because there's a big spiel about how that was how once the Democrats, the founders of the KKK, were forced to kind of operate through more subversive means, not being able to lynch people in public anymore. They operated through more subversive means by donating to Planned Parenthood. It plays all these weird calls where people are like, "Hello, I'd like to donate to Planned Parenthood. I'd like to specify that my abortion is used on a black person." And they're like, "Sure, we can hook that up for you." It's like people like, I don't know how Planned Parenthood donations work. I assumed it was just money, but they're like, ring ring, I'd like to buy 12 abortions.
It's very
if you buy our package of 24, then you get a free key ring. Okay, like 24, but only black.
I don't want to cast like doubt on the credentials of Mr. Dinesh here, but yeah, that for me was like, because there's like pauses and stuff as well where it's like, yeah, absolutely, that's unacceptable. You know, we can do that. Everything's very. I was like, this isn't real. Like, not that you know, you've had me until this entire point, Dinesh, and I believed you. I believed all along, but now I'm starting to doubt you a little bit. Now that because I know you've learned about these things in prison. You know, like I'm doubting everything you're telling me. Like, you know what to do, buddy. But yeah, I forget. This is where it really. If I'm saying it lost me before, this next like segment about abortions, and I didn't understand the point of it he was trying to make either, other than the lynching connection.
It's just Democrats being racist, and like I think it's basically just Democrats being racist, and abortions are like it's giving Republicans like another high horse moment of like, well, Democrats are racist. It's basically tying everything together. Of it's like they're racist, and also when we are being anti-abortion, it's not enough just to be against it because of child religion, whatever. They're being like abortions are actually like a tool of eugenics.
Okay.
And so like these are just the most evil thing that you could possibly do. I was hoping for Dinesh to start a Republican campaign where Republicans would go and donate to Planned Parenthood with specifying white abortions.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Like, I want affirmative action, positive discrimination of like these old Republican boomers being like, "Hello, I want you to abort as many white babies as you can find. There are too many of us. We need to even out the numbers.
California only, you know."
I'd like you to abort a feminist baby. So we then get the Julia ad. Because they're lashing out against big government, and they're like, the state should not be like under Barack Obama. We're citizens, not subjects. The government works for us, and they're like, this ad is the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. Under Obama, Julia goes to school. Under Obama, Julia gets free healthcare. Under Obama, Julia has a child, and they're like, we don't know with who. Our friends aren't here. Our church isn't here. The community isn't here. The only person who's here is Barack Hussein Obama. Julia has a child with Barack Obama. And we then segue into Young Obama.
Oh, Young
which
Obama's good.
Highlight of the movie.
I mean,
I loved Young Obama.
It is a highlight. Prison can't be peaked, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That was my most fun. But seeing, Young Sheldon spin off Young Obama was fucking hilarious.
Because they quote from, like, what's Obama's book called? Dreams of My Father?
Yeah.
They quote, and so they have Obama actually reading it from the audiobook. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't fully paying attention, but Obama's basically speaking about how, like, he told people in the playground his dad was what? Like, a prince?
Because his granddad was a chief.
Yeah.
And that means, technically, he's a prince because he's going to inherit the chiefdom.
Yeah.
And they're all like, wow, that's wicked.
That's so cool. Yeah. And then it's like bring your father to work day.
Yeah.
And Obama, like, this is where he brings it, is like young Barry is just kind of like, oh, geez. Yeah. Not like he's dreading it as his dad comes in. because he's in sort of. He's not in tribal dress, is he? He's wearing a suit, but he's got like a spear and like a headdress or headgear or something. And Barry's just kind of like, oh god, no, how's this gonna? And like they were, because I was like, what are they doing here? Is like they're like, Obama is like ashamed of being exposed as an American. Like he's ashamed of his heritage, isn't he?
I mean, I guess I don't know much about Obama's dad, if I'm being honest.
Well, because he was adopted, wasn't he?
I don't know. I'm not gonna put fake news out there. I don't think
he was American. I
thought
it was Kenyan. Where's his birth certificate?
At first, I thought it was like a Simpsons thing. Art saying, like, my dad is a nuclear technician. And then Homer walks in and his pants pants fall down. Instantly gag. I thought it was because he was going to be an idiot or a buffoon or a liar, and he was like just. Some dude was going to walk in. So I didn't understand this part, but I don't know my Obama lore maybe that deep. I guess the way Dinesh is trying to portray it, though, is that, he's not a true American like himself.
It's just, he's, like, I don't know, like, I get the feeling that we're missing out on, like, we don't get, like, because we just get his dad turns up and everyone's like, woo, cool, but Obama voiceover kind of fades out, so we don't actually hear Obama finish the story.
No. It's very much just plucked for this little recreation here. Like.
It's plucked for young Obama's awards clip. Because I love young Obama, and then we get this segue of like young Obama's political ideology was shaped by Saul Alinsky and Barack Obama Sr. And that's when we get our first introduction. 1 hour into the movie, we get Hillary.
Hour into the podcast. She's finally here, guys.
Hillary's America in the Win a Date with Hillary Clinton sequence, where there's a restaurant and like a bunch of snobs are eating at the restaurant, and like a blue working class stiff is like outside being like, those fuckers, those 1%ers, goddamn, I'd love to guillotine every last one of you. And Hillary Clinton comes up and puts an arm around him. I was like, hey pal, vote for me and you can be inside. And you see this man then having a romantic candlelit dinner with Hillary Clinton while all 1%ers are on the outside looking in. And just a very weird sequence.
Very weird, very very surreal. I don't actually know what he's going for here, Dinesh. Like I get it. Like, I'm not an idiot. Like, I can get what he's fucking trying to tell me, but like, he's not doing it very well. Because I was like, well, she'll make me a 1%er. She's got my vote. Dinesh, thanks.
Like,
I would eat.
Like, I can't remember like what we've fallen way too much. I've taken the bait here, and I've fallen way too much into recapping this film scene by scene, rather than the kind of like engaging with it at an ideology level. But I think they're trying to get back into like, it's the politics of envy. Is like, Republicans are aspirational because we want you to become the 1% by like working hard. Anyone can succeed. Whereas Democrats are angry and envious, and they hate success. From
Saul how to cheat the system.
Exactly.
And I get that, but like you could do more.
And this is where we get our introduction to Hillary campaign HRC headquarters. And we get all our shirts, and we get this steady cam Scorsese scene where Pan's camera goes in as Dinesh grooves his way into the back room, where you find yet more boxes. It's almost like a mind palace thing of just like, it's like Inception. Like, Dinesh is infiltrating. Leonardo DiCaprio's like, where they keep their secrets, right? In a box. What does that represent? Like, So he's in the back room with more boxes, and we get the introduction of young Hillary.
Love her. You love it.
Yeah, MVP, beyond young Obama, my faves, young Hillary and young Obama. And she owns Senator Brooks.
Yeah.
That's like she does like a college speech. She invites Senator Brooks to some event and then basically just roasts him.
Yeah, which is great.
And Senator Brooks is a really good actor because he's just kind of sitting there pleasantly staring off and Hillary's like tearing strips out of him. And so we then get this immortal line, which it sums Hillary up to a T. If her husband is a sex abuser, how is that her fault? Actually, it is. Because Dinesh says that she's Bill's fixer.
Yeah.
And so they're like, Bill is a rapist and a child molester, but here's why Hillary is worse.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's a lot of Bill focus.
Yeah.
I think Bill gets more reenactment time as well.
Yeah.
Like, maybe just body doubles, but like seeing his sex crimes, and there's a lot of like women leaving rooms and cars and police looking the other way and all this. I'm not voting for Bill, you know, like...
We voted for Bill. Bill's been in and out.
Like, times have changed, you know, like, this is where, again, I think this is rushed, because he doesn't have the material ready for... I mean, there's so much. There's so much to go on about Hillary Clinton, and I was thinking of the runtime, and I'm like, oh, we've just met Hillary, we've probably got like 20 minutes. You're going to have to fly through Benghazi.
Yeah.
You're going to have to fly through, like, the... gay laws that she was shooting down, and you know, like how she's split
marriage equality and how she was attacking Obama for like he wants to allow queer people to get married.
And I was like, it's 2016. He's gonna do. They're gonna talk about like the PR flip, because we see a lot of like 2009 Hillary and then jumps to like 2016 Hillary at times, but talk about that change.
Like when this is so much gotcha and like hypocrisy, you're like, okay, I see where this is going, because they're gonna try and like they're setting like the Democrats are the party of hypocrites, and you're thinking that they're like in some element like they're right, particularly with like the DNC hack and like making Hillary Clinton the face of the Democratic establishment isn't like a big jump. So you're waiting for that, and that's where like we were expecting this to be more of like because we both find Hillary Clinton quite an entertaining character. Hilarious. So we were like, the film won't be entertaining, but we'll get some funny Hillary conspiracy theories and footage of her highlights. And we don't get any of that. We don't get the like, oh, she's fainting, whatever.
No, I mean, the timeline you probably couldn't. But again, you have like this box of full of actual Hillary things from like from Bill. Yeah. To like that's what I was saying. I was expecting Lewinsky and some of her fixing things that she's been accused of, even in First Lady.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. So they have like a scene. It's almost like an Indiana Jones thing where Bill kind of looks like the dude. Bill's got flowing locks, and he's like looks like he's got like a sort of like quarterback physique. And like Indiana Jones, he has like a bunch of like young students like surrounding him. And Hillary's basically on the other side of a glass door spying, where they're like, Hillary recognized that she had no social skills or charisma, and so she used like dumb jock airhead Bill's sexual charisma to work her way to the top. Yeah, that's right, folks. She's Bill's fixer. Yeah. And Dinesh also asks, is Hillary really capable of enabling a rapist? Without committing libel, yes. We then get a supercut of all of the testimony of Bill's victims, which is, again, like really harrowing stuff that I don't want to make light of the fact that Bill Clinton is almost certainly a rapist. Yeah. But it's really bizarre how much this film jumps all over the place. They then say, like, Hillary Clinton is the war on women. Yeah. And they're like, well, Bill Clinton's behavior is normal for Democrats. Hillary's is not. Yeah. So they're like, Bill Clinton is like a sex offender on a colossal scale. Yeah. They're like, this is a serial rapist. And they're like, but that's normal for Democrats.
Well, yeah, this is it.
Hillary helping him out.
We're name dropping presidents from fucking Wilson to Jackson. Yeah. To all that. We don't see JFK.
No.
Because we can't. Yeah, we can't touch that boat. But just like notorious rapist Jimmy Carter, I guess, you know. They're all the same.
Yeah. And so we get like, they then leave. They get called the Bonnie and Clyde. He's like the Bonnie and Clyde, they looted America on their way out. The selling of presidential pardons to big time criminals, which is ironic considering Dinesh himself would be pardoned by Donald J. Trump. Yeah. So it's like you, Dinesh. You're just complaining you have not yet got one at this point in time. We then get like the grift, like the Haiti like charity,
the foundation
references, like the complaints about like how much money they make in speeches. They're like, he got paid $500,000 for a 25-minute speech. That must be some speech. Neglecting the fact that in 2008, the highest paid corporate speaker at that time was one Donald J. Trump. So yeah, this is just like it's really shameful, sad attempts at got yous when Hillary is like a sitting duck. Because my note here is like, they're speaking about like her wiping email servers, and she's like, "What do you mean, with a cloth?"
Yeah, one of the few bits of archival footage as well.
Yeah,
and like you said, then it was like, just let the women talk. Like
exactly. Just like when she's on Trevor Noah joking about Jeffrey Epstein and stuff. It's like she is her own worst enemy.
Yep.
Like, just show footage of Hillary Clinton being Hillary Clinton, and that will do the job for you.
Show me from like 80s, 90s, 2000s. Just show me Hillary.
Yeah.
And like, have someone just talk about it. Like discuss it. Have some people on to interview that. Bish bash bosh. There's your piece makes itself. You could even do that at the start. You could have Dinesh or whoever's presenting be like, "Listen, I don't even need to say anything. I'm going to let the evidence speak for itself."
We could be, again, maybe at some point in the future we will just cash out and become conservative grifters, because like we could make this easily, and this is an incredibly damning failure on Dinesh's part, where they've made a documentary that just wastes everyone's time and probably is PR for the Clintons in making Hillary seem more cool than she actually is. Because it's just like, it's an open, like it's like, this is fascinating because it kind of like, it gives you a hint at how Hillary is one of the only people I think that could have lost to Donald Trump, because she just had so much baggage. And this is like a hint at that, where you're like, he fumbles, like he fucks it completely. Like, you think anyone can make a fairly competent anti-Clinton documentary, and Dinesh fucks it, but it does give you like a little bit of insight into just quite how much baggage that woman
100%.
has. So okay, coming into the station here. How much more will we let them take? Hateful rhetoric. The Clintons are hateful people. Because we sort of like, we're beginning to get into the nasty woman kind of. Like, this film, I just wish this film had been made a little bit later, because we've got so much. Hillary had not yet begun to peak. Like, she had Dangerous Donald ahead of her. She had Nasty Woman, Basket of Deplorables. I just wish she'd had that material to work with.
I thought, when was it that she like hawked up that green stuff in the glass and everyone went nuts? I was expecting that. Like, I expected like some scientist to be on to analyze it.
She's the devil incarnate, but also she's dying.
I was ready for more of that. Like, we've just said what we'd have fixed. Like, that's what we would have done, and what we wanted is how you make this better. So we don't even need to even cover that in depth, because you give me 5 million, I will spend 4.8 on myself and make you still a great. I will fraudulently donate that half of that, and still make something that's so much more competent and like to get your message across. But as I said, this is not what is advertised. It's not what the poster is. This is not Hillary's America. This is the Democrat.
Democrats. It's the democratic history of the United States. So how we fix it is, like you said there. It's hard because this is way more cinematic than I expected. And that kind of was like dangling the carrot in front of me, where I was like, just make this fully cinematic. Give me Dinesh being Manchurian candidated while he's in Democrat re-education camp, have him being Clockwork Orange, have him doing his like Ocean's 11 heist. Just
give me more. Give me a film.
Depart into Cloud Cuckoo Land. That's fully what I want. But the Razzie worthiness of this film, let's do it. This was nominated and won a whole bunch of awards. So, Worst Picture, of course, it won. Worst Director, Dinesh D'Souza and Bruce Schooley for Hillary's America, The Secret of the Democratic Party.
I'm torn on that. Like, directing your actors, terrible. But all these creative shots and techniques that are thrown out, the weirder shit. I'm like you said, if he gave him a script, right, and professional actors, and kept him away from it, I don't know. I think he could be okay. I don't think this is gonna be the worst directed.
It's poorly conceived of. Like, if you look at it on the most fundamental level, it is incohesive because like a
Yeah, but
direct
I'm gonna say, yeah, and I know that's
like the story you're telling isn't clear.
yeah, so that's his fault, and he'll deserve worse screenplay if he's nominated for it. But I mean,
I know what you mean in terms of individual footage stuff. Like there's some production value behind this, and like almost like it's poorly framed.
all
where
the
there's
best
like
stuff
lots
as
of
well
dead.
is with him in it. Like he shoots himself.
Yeah,
Any
the
scene
modern,
he's in has
the
got
chinless wonder.
has all the wonderful like interesting stuff. When it is just second director filming in a fucking forest with like reenactors, it is not as great.
No.
If he's not there, he's not as good.
Yeah.
So Bruce might deserve the nod, but I'm gonna give Dinesh a pass for this one. I just think there's gonna be worse. I'm not saying it's good. It's not good direction. It's not, but I don't think this is gonna be the worst.
Fair enough. He also won Worst Actor,
Yes.
Dinesh D'Souza
Yes,
for Hillary's America as himself.
I've never seen someone ever be so bad at playing themselves.
He's awkward. He doesn't have a chin.
Yeah.
He's just not. Yeah, he's not.
No chemistry. He's not like believable. He's got nothing.
He's flat. He's uncharismatic.
Absolutely, and I bet you is in real life as well. I bet you off camera he is, but like it's amplified on screen because you can tell how nervous and weird he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen someone play themselves so badly.
A little thing, a fun thought experiment that we mentioned while watching or after watching was imagine if this was switched. We would be absolutely bored to tears watching this man do a My Pillow of just him speaking for 2 hours where there's nothing to distract you. But alternatively, how glorious it would be to see coked out Mike Lindell.
Absolutely. Raiding the Smithsonian.
Breaking out of prison. Pumping iron in prison yard.
Pillow, like 100%. If Mike Lindell was in this, if it was swapped around, it would have been that high energy. It would have been exciting.
If you're listening, Mike Lindell.
Come on in.
My Pillow's America. They can get Jenna from 30 Rock to play Hillary.
Yeah, oh, hell yeah.
Moving on, we have Worst Actress. Michaela Krantz and Rebecca Turner for Hillary's America, A Secret History of the Democratic Party as Hillary Clinton. So, Mr. Razzie, Hillary's not the lead. No. These are supporting actors, and these are also 2 different performances. One of which doesn't even have her face seen. So, like, how are you going to do that?
Which one was which, do you know?
Michaela is the young one.
Okay, so again, a kid wins it.
No, she's older than us.
Oh, okay. Because there's a young Hillary.
Oh, the child, yeah,
the
like
child
the
one
school. I don't think, I'm assuming that, like...
It's the college years.
No, I think it's college years and then the one that we just see the back of the head. Yeah.
That's the back of the head.
Yeah.
So Rebecca Turner's the back of the head.
Better Call Saul is Rebecca Turner.
Okay, so... No, obviously not. She's not the lead. The back of your head is not going to be the worst actress, like Christ on a bike. But yeah, no, they're highlights. Like there's no worst actress from this film.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some bad, like the worst actors and there's worst supporting actors. I will gladly say fuck yeah. But no, big no.
We're then skipping on down to worst screenplay. And it was nominated Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party, Dinesh D'Souza, and Bruce Schooley. So
I've covered that.
It didn't win, which you're right. It deserves that more than directing.
Yeah, directing nomination, win for the screenplay, and I'm happy.
As we've acknowledged, it misses out on worst rip-off, remake, sequel, whatever. Which, like, I wouldn't say, but like under Mr. Razzie's rules, it does deserve it.
It's a sequel, yeah. And it's probably a remake of his previous film too. So like, it's just gonna regurgitate the same shit every 4 years. So yeah, it doesn't. Okay. It's a surprisingly slim amount of noms. I expect this to sweep.
You'd think he couldn't even be bothered to make up some bullshit combo of Dinesh D'Souza and his lack of a chin. Dinesh D'Souza and his non-existent lower mandible. It's I don't know. Mr. Razzie is phoning it in this year, phoning it in. And how Razzie worthy do you think it is?
I'm mixed.
Because it is a film.
It's a film. It is eligible. It is. I'm not going to have any pissing about there. No. It was fine to watch. Fun to watch it in company.
Yeah.
Yes, it is Razzie worthy. Mm-hmm. But know that, and yes, it is eligible. I would have worse picks, even from 2016.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a bit mixed on it. What about you?
Similarly, it's hard because he's not wrong. Like, I can't disagree with him in, like, it's eligible. It meets all the criteria. It's cinematic. It, for the first time, we're not dismissing it with this is like a telecast or like a musical, whatever. This 100% is a cinematic feature, but something about winning doesn't feel right.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
Like you're opening the floodgates of like, why have none of these other ones won? Yep. And he does nominate him in like 2018 or whatever. We've seen him come up, but like he's clearly just doing like, this would have happened in 2017, this ceremony. So he's trying to do some Orange Man bad, but without being like like there was no Resistance film to rally around at that point in time. So like he's clearly trying to capitalize on anti-Trump sentiment, but this film isn't the film to do it with.
No.
So it's a worthy winner in some ways, but in other ways, I would rather have been speaking about something else.
Yes, 100%. And that's kind of exactly the nail on the head. That's exactly what I would say. I just know there's worse. And for what it is, yes. Okay, like nominations. I don't know if it's a winner. Yeah. But like it's again, it's the floodgates. Again, very conflicted on it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's our damp squib of an ending. So we're going to hand the final words over to Mr. Dinesh D'Souza, because they play Star Spangled Banner and then he makes an impassioned plea. He's outlined how Hillary Clinton is the coming of the Antichrist, and he's like, so please take arms, go to the ballot box and vote, because of my conviction, I can't.
Oh, you can't.
Because of my conviction, I can't vote.
He's a hardened criminal. Rightfully so.
Which, I don't know, it's just like, it's nice just to see, like, there's a bunch of, like, anti-Russian stuff in here. And with, like, the liberal fixation with voting that was about to emerge, it's nice to see, like, voting being held up by Republicans as, like, save yourself, just vote.
And then, flash forward 4 years and, like, Mr. Pillow Man's going to be telling me why not to vote because it's all in no machines. Yeah, great.
So speaking of corrupt institutions, we are going to be back in part 2 with our expose of the Razzies and the racket they have been running for the past 3+ decades, with all of the other winners and nominees from 2016. There's a bunch of our favourites here, so look forward to that in one moment's time. So, welcome to the middle section of the podcast, which appears every so often when we have stuff to speak about.
Yeah.
You'll remember a couple of weeks ago, we covered, what was it? It was 2006, which was...
testing the brain already.
Basic Instinct 2.
James.
And for that, the Razzies had their weird, like, dark night, like, we turned every cell phone in the auditorium into a camera. And there was a broadcast, and so we put the call out for listeners, if you could find that footage. We put the call out, we put the bat signal up, and if this friend of the show feels like understatement for Kelly when she does way more work for me and you cannot be bothered to Google Razzie ceremony. And Kelly's making like spreadsheets finding stuff, so Kelly answered our call and sent us links to clips of the Razzie ceremony, so we have watched those and we can now speak about them to you. So thank you very much, Kelly, for finding these
real MVP
clips
of this show, to be honest.
Absolutely. So the first one is from the 2006 year, where we saw a little still, and I was like, it looks like they're doing a Dreamgirls bit, because there's a bunch of men in dresses with big afro wigs, and so we watched that. And you said school pantomime.
100%. I mean, we went to the same school. It's when the teachers, towards the end, and they would do like their dad rock garage band, and they do little skits.
Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson singing T-Rex.
Yeah, they do a little sketch, and it's just, it's fun. It's like
inside joke.
It's their last day of school or whatever, before the holidays or in the semester or whatever, so we're all going to have a bit of fun and show we're humans.
Because Mr. Razzie can laugh at himself.
But it's embarrassing. Like, it isn't. It's embarrassing. Like, so, like I kind of even get the idea behind it if you're doing like a ceremony. It's something.
Yeah, if you're parodying the Oscars, that's kind of what Buster was doing with our theme tune, isn't it? It's like you're taking the conventions of the Oscars and making them shittier.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is like a shitty Seth MacFarlane.
That's even that's generous. Yeah, and it's not funny though. Like it's not like if you're trying to be this like comedic, you know, tongue in cheek. I get it. I understand what you're going for, but like maybe once you rehearsed it, maybe this is a bad idea. You know, maybe we'll just do something else or like parody whoever's hosting the Oscars this year. Or something.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get their Mexican non-union equivalent in, and we'll get Frank Stallone on or something. You know, we'll do something fun. You know, like that's where they got all their publicity was like Halle Berry and whoever. Like, picking up their Razzie. Do more of that. Get a nod from someone.
I wish I could have seen that full ceremony.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to watch it. I would not. I'd be annoyed and angry and like the circle jerk of just these fuckers that I hate and the Razzie committee, and then I would just get bored. So yeah.
I can't recall why I was looking at it, but I think I was looking up years we'd done. And I saw that one of them, they had a ceremony which was open to the public.
Yeah.
Said on Wikipedia. And that was the year that Saving Christmas won. I was like, you motherfucker, you didn't even invite Darren Doan to your public ceremony? Like, it's so weird.
Justice for Doan.
Yeah, it's so weird. And it's like, oh, people can come, but like, don't tell the filmmakers it's happening until the ceremony's in progress because I'm scared they might say something.
Exactly. That's really like childish. It's like, you know, it's like Mean Girls, we're all going to meet up and talk about you, but you're not, you know, because we're actual cowards and we can't like embrace it. Like everyone, like we spoke to Cindy, we spoke to Darren, you know, people would embrace this. People aren't as thin-skinned as Mr. Razzie seems to think they are.
No, everyone who's not Halle Berry or Sandra Bullock seems to be like, I would have loved to go. That would have been great.
He cowed to them, you know. Like he's worried that Sly's going to turn up. And and I would pay to be at that ceremony. Play us out, Frank. You know.
So Kelly also sent us along the opening to the year's ceremony previous, where they do a parody of Rent entitled "Seasons of Crud." I think that one was giving me flashbacks because I had to act in a recreation of Rent for a thing at university. That's where I discovered I could not clap to the beats, which is quite an alarming thing to learn about myself. Any thoughts about that one?
It was better.
It's for sure. They've done a parody lyrics.
Yeah. And it was catchy. Like, I don't know Rent very well. I assume it's very close to a song.
It's just the same.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Rent gets a point. Like, like it was better. It's still, I mean, we still turned it off before it's finished. Because again, it is that, don't want to use the word cringy, but it is that like smug, like holier than thou sort of. I imagine the committee is the people singing.
Yeah.
And that's where, you know. I didn't like how the lyrics say what makes a Razzie. It's been a worse prequel, sequel, a rip-off of a TV show or no TV show, which we cover all the time, or bad vibe.
It just really blows. They're on shows with blows.
See, it's
good. Weird Al Yankovic.
Take back all my dirty hacks that I've been calling them. Yeah, like I don't think it's needed because again, it's such a cheap little ceremony. You can do a really cute little ceremony. I think that parodies the Oscars.
Yeah.
Get a couple of...
You get Pauly Shore and to present.
Yeah, exactly. Like get like previous winners or stuff to come in. You could probably try and entice people with the Redeemer Award as well.
Yeah,
we'll make something out of it. It's quite sad. I think it's quite depressing and sad, and it's that little clubhouse mentality. That's what it looks like. Mm-hmm. It looks. That's what I said with the first one. It just looks like this circle jerk of, oh, how funny is that? You know, you're so smart.
Well, we've lost our chance of hosting the next.
No. I lost that a long time ago. Make a super cut with all my...
Mr. Razzie's a child molester.
Allegedly. According to me.
So we haven't watched, but I did discover they also do a Hairspray opening. So I think Rent 2005, Dreamgirls 2006, Hairspray 2007. Haven't watched that one. But now that we know what their thing is, maybe this is our gate into it. is we write like a parody of Dear Evan Hansen or Cats,
Diana
and we
the
pitch
musical.
that to them.
Yeah,
oh shit!
I give me the pen. I got this, Mr. Razzie.
If only Diana the musical had one memorable song, we would be in there. So this is the middle section of the podcast where we deal with correspondence. As you have heard there, if you want to send us anything, then you can email us at watchingworstfilms@gmail.com if you have any thoughts on any of the films or supplementary Razzie material. And you can follow us at Watching Worst on social media, where we post things, clips from the show and little things whenever we remember to. This is where we got yelled at by a bunch of Kevin Smith stands a couple of weeks ago, including where someone was like, well, your objection to the Goodbye Horses bit in Clerks is you just don't get it.
I don't.
And I'm like, what is there to get?
You don't
what
get
is
pop
there to
culture
get?
references.
It's not a joke. There's nothing to get. It's just a thing. Yeah. They're just saying you haven't seen Silence of the Lambs. You don't understand. That is another movie. That's not the right movie. That's not the right movie. You're not watching. You thought you were watching Silence of the Lambs? You're not. It's actually Clerks.
Double down.
Yeah. It's also on social media where you can get in touch with us if you have any takes on the Razzies. So we recently heard from listener E-Pars with the opinions that Jerry Lewis should get more recognition from the Razzies for his bad films, especially Hardly Working. Now, you're a Jerry Lewis
No, I'm not going to call myself a Jerry Lewis aficionado.
scholar. Have you seen Hardly Working?
I haven't, no. Jerry Lewis post 70s is a bit slimmer for me.
Yeah.
I know it's Dean Martin stuff. I know, classic 6 days, but I assume this is a much later. I mean, he's still alive, isn't he?
No, he died like a couple. He's only died very recently.
Okay. All right.
Because our thing is the day the clown cried.
Of course.
We're just holding it on like once he's dead, then that's kind of.
What year is Hardly Working?
Hardly Working is. You want to vamp for time?
Yeah. I bet. Yeah. No. Like. So yeah. I haven't seen it. I'm trying to think. Other than maybe cameos.
Hardly Working is 1980.
Okay. So it is. Is that even eligible? Yeah, 1980
that was the first year
Can't
of the
stop
Razzies,
the music.
yeah.
Okay, so maybe we'll cover that in 1980.
Yeah,
maybe we'll even watch it. I get it though. I assume he's in a lot of shit at that time.
Well, we've kind of spoken about how like comedians, even great comedians, have like a very short shelf life. Like Steve Martin, Will Ferrell. You watch these people and just see how quickly they kind of sour. And Jerry Lewis, like it's definitely the exception to the rule of people who last long and do it well, like Mel Brooks or whoever, who spans decades. And so Jerry Lewis, like he was in his 90s when he died.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, Dean Martin, like a man who spans eras, he's definitely gonna
accumulate shit.
Go off the boil,
Of course
like comedy evolves so quickly.
Yeah.
And another suggestion from E-Pars was that the Razzies need more categories like worst animated
Which
film.
I 100% agree with. I said before many times this needs to echo or mirror the Oscars.
Yeah.
Worst animated
worst
film.
foreign film.
Worst give me it. Like, make Mr. Razzie watch every country and find the worst that comes out.
This is our offer, is he either needs to actually watch a bunch of films or actually make it an academy and expand it if one person can't possibly watch all the films. So
and that's fine. Like it's like, who cares really? But like worst animated would really be like perfect.
You could do that easily. You could fill a category effortlessly.
I mean, we've only done the Emoji Movie, but like Emoji.
Well, that's the only one I think it's the only one that wins. I think it might be the only one that's ever been nominated.
But there's so much we could throw in there.
Your Tom and Jerry movies, one you always
exactly.
mentioned.
I always but that isn't going to be worst picture. It's going to be worst animated.
Yeah,
so I 100% agree with that. Give me more categories. Bring back worst original song. Give me worst score. Worst everything. Just mirror it, and animated one is a big miss.
Well, funny you should mention worst original song. I forgot to bring it up in the first half, but the Wikipedia page says that they actually released an original song for Hillary's America.
Okay.
Stand Up and Say So, parenthesis, Hillary's America.
Oh.
A song that written and performed for the film by Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin brothers.
Oh, I don't know who any of those people are.
Neither do I. I'm assuming they're the conservative Dixie Chicks.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has already ran over long, so we're probably not going to watch it for this. But maybe next week, if we have a middle section, you might hear our thoughts on Stand Up and Say So,
Yes.
Hillary's America, parenthesis, Freddy's Not Dead. So yeah, join us in a moment. We'll be leaping into the final part of the podcast where we cover all of the other winners and nominees. Welcome back to Watching Worst Films, where we are covering all of the other worst films from 2016. So, nominees for Worst Picture, we have Zoolander 2.
Oh,
have you seen that? You lucky man.
Well, you put me off this film. I remember asking, because we're both big Zoolander fans.
Yeah, one of my favorite films.
And one of my favorite comedy, and not films, but like top for comedies for me.
Well, me and Terrence Malick share Zoolander as
I
favorite
love
films of
Zoolander.
comedies.
I love it. I could watch it now and still laugh at it. It's a film without diminishing returns, which is very rare. Mm-hmm. And I think I didn't want to see it because I loved the first one so much. I might get my years mixed up here, but whenever Anchorman 2 came out,
Anchorman 2 was a couple of years earlier.
Okay, well that was what broke me because I loved Anchorman 1 and I was like, I'll go see the sequel, and I was so miserable.
Zoolander 2 is worse than Anchorman 2.
Yeah, and you told me. I'm sure that's exactly what you gave me.
On the poster.
Jericho Reed. And I was like, right, no, I don't want to associate. I don't even want to have it blurred in, because Anchorman 2 has blurred into the first one.
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
And
well, the good news is that will not happen with Zoolander 2 because it is so dreadful. It's like a clear line. Mm-hmm. I know what you mean. Anchorman 2. That's why I think like Anchorman 2 is not completely irredeemable. There's like little moments where I'm like, okay, yeah.
It has a gag in it that I genuinely love when he's blind in the lighthouse.
Yeah.
And that whole set piece I really, really like.
I remember slow motion crashing an RV. And
there's moments. It's just held together by tape.
Yeah.
And in Anchorman 2, unlike Zoolander 2, I had such high expectations because I remember reading all the interviews where they were going to put it in the 80s with shoulder pads and perms, and it was going to be what a sequel should be. We'll take these things and move them on into a different time period, or show me them adjusting in the 90s to like 24-hour news cycles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, it is a rehash, and that was enough to make me go, what the fuck can Zoolander 2 do?
Well, Zoolander 2 is so weird because I know that Adam McKay basically said that he got to make Big Short because of Anchorman 2. That was his one for them, and in exchange he got to make. I don't know what Ben Stiller got for making Zoolander 2 because they've been pressured to make a sequel for years, and they kind of dragged their heels of you could have made this at any point and people were clamoring for it. And then it came out, and everyone was like, "What? No, we didn't ask for this."
I think a part of me says Ben Stiller wanted to make it though. I mean,
I don't know.
It's a good, an easy paycheck,
Yeah. It's a paycheck for sure, but they could have made that at any point. Why now is my question.
Why now? Why not 10 years ago?
Yeah, because there's no internal justification for it, and it's so sad because every bit you can imagine gets recycled. It's just it's really dreadful. And I really
big thumbs down. Big thumbs down.
We then have Independence Day Resurgence. Have you seen that?
The remake, the reboot, the reimagining. No, I don't like Independence Day.
Yeah.
I think we've spoke about this before. I have zero interest, and I knew it was going to be such a fucking blockbuster that I just didn't want to give it money.
They don't need my money.
They don't need my money.
Fine.
They don't need.
Fine.
I'll pirate Hillary's America instead. So no, I assume you've seen it though.
No.
Oh,
I haven't
great.
seen it.
Yes.
Similarly, Independence Day 1 is fine, but I don't like it enough to see a sequel made 20 years later.
No, all the legacy sequels are very, even if I kind of liked it, especially On the Bay Line. Bad Boys had a third one, and it's got a fourth one.
This is Roland Emmerich.
But On the Bay
Line. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
On the Bay Line.
We're moving on to the Bay Line.
On the Bay Line.
Yeah, Bad Boy. Yeah.
It had a fucking reboot, and I don't even hate the first films.
Yeah.
But I still have no interest, and I don't want to give it money.
Yeah.
Legacy sequels, I adore for some reason, but not when I don't have any interest, and this just kind of falls into that category.
Well, my thing was, you don't get Will back, you don't get me back.
Yeah. Very true.
I'm going to be seeing After Earth. We then have Gods of Egypt. Have you seen that?
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
It's a weird, like, I don't know what... I think it's kind of trying to do 300, but with the Gods of Egypt.
Okay.
Gerard Butler's in it.
Yeah.
My mum has seen it. My mum, I think, enjoyed Gods of Egypt.
Yeah.
Stars Gerard Butler, Chadwick Boseman, Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
Okay.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
apparently.
it doesn't sound like my cup of... I've seen very little Butler as well.
Yeah.
So pass.
Then we have Dirty Grandpa. Have you seen
I've seen a bit of Dirty Grandpa.
Okay.
It tricked me with the Jackass tag.
Yeah, Bad Grandpa.
Yeah, it's like Jackass Presents.
No, that's Bad Grandpa.
Oh, what the fuck?
Dirty Grandpa's De Niro. Bad Grandpa's Knoxville. Dirty Grandpa's De Niro.
No. Then I take it back. Fuck.
We're gonna draw you a diagram here.
Yeah.
All bad grandpas are dirty, but not all
all
dirty
dirty
grandpas are bad.
Okay. This is the De Niro one with
Zac
Aubrey?
Efron.
Is it? Okay.
Aubrey Plaza's in it.
Aubrey,
Yeah.
Aubrey Plaza. Yeah. No. I thought it was Bad Grandpa. I was going to talk about fucking Bad Grandpa. How's Dirty Grandpa?
I just watched it for this. It's bad and dirty, but like I would be lying if I said I didn't laugh.
How many laughs?
Probably about 3.
That's enough. It's my 3. It's my quota. If a film makes me laugh 3 times, I can't call it a bad movie.
And like it's one of those things where they give people freedom. Like it's a bit like, I was gonna say it's a bit like Boat Trip. Like I think Will Ferrell might get a laugh in the opening to Boat Trip. It's one of those things where like if you just give comedic, or maybe it's like a bit like the Ladies Man. Of like if you just give people a little bit of freedom to riff. It's like if when you have a movie full of comedians, it's kind of like a success when you manage to have something as completely devoid of laughter as like some of the like David Spade, Rob Schneider films. Whereas this, at least, like most of the jokes, like there's like, you look like Mitt Romney Terminator. Well, you look like Alan Dershowitz. Yeah, okay. It has like a bunch of cringy jokes, but then it has a bunch of really dumb. Like there's a bit where like Jason Mantzoukas gives Zac Efron like a bong, and he's like, one of them's weed and one of them's crack. And Zac Efron's freaking out because he's like a square by the book's lawyer, and he's like, what one's which? What one did I do? He's like, well, that one was the and then he's like, that one's crack. And that one's also crack. And then you think he's about to freak out, and Zac Efron just shits, I just did crack to the party. So yeah, I'm not, it doesn't sound funny on paper, but in such a desert of laughs as Dirty Grandpa, I did laugh a couple of times, not as bad as I was expecting. Then we have Batman v Superman,
Finally.
Dawn of Justice.
Finally a film I've seen. Right off the bat, I hate this film. You know my feelings on this. Yeah. I hate all the Schneider Batman versus Superman versus.
Yeah.
I hate them. Like, I was miserable watching this film.
Yeah.
And I put this one off because I hated Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And I think it was you talking about it that made me watch it. So I was like, fuck it can't be that bad. Like,
my Zoolander points taken away. I spared you from Zoolander 2, but apparently inflicted this.
But I don't love Man of Steel, so maybe that's what I'm saying. If I love Man of Steel, I would have probably stayed clear of it. I hate this. I think it's a miserable experience.
Yeah.
I don't have anything other than say than I hate it. It feels like, what's that, 2016? It feels like longer because I feel like there's been 300 films in between then and now rather. The Justice Leagues have clouded my brains a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, I know the major points. I know my Martha points, we'll call them, but yeah, I hate it. I absolutely fucking hate this film.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like if you could speak to, if we could pull a flash for a moment and pull 2016 Jericho onto the podcast, I'd almost give the floor to him because I remember hating it a lot of the time, whereas I feel like I might have rehabilitated it slightly in the years since, just because superhero movies have expanded so much. Well, that's
it. I've rehabilitated it by forgetting about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you sing the Martha thing, I'm like, oh yeah, it is really bad. Amy
really
Adams is in this.
It's really fucking bad.
Batman does go to. We do get Mad Max Batman for some reason.
Yes. Post-apocalyptic Batman.
So basically everything I remember about this film is something that I don't like.
Yeah.
So probably worthy of being here. Then the winner, Hilarious America, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Worst director, Ben Stiller for Zoolander 2. So it's dreadful. Yeah. He's bad. It's bad. Yeah. It's all bad. I hope that he, like, I think this was post Walter Mitty. So that's why I don't understand, because I think he got like a lot of goodwill and sort of bounce from Walter Mitty. So I do not understand why he immediately did this. Like, if they were like, hey, this seems like something you do in order to get your passion project made.
Or money talks.
Okay.
I'm just thinking, even if you didn't pursue it, if some producer came up to me and was like, you want 40 million to make Zoolander 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, I could do with another house.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
Because Ben Stiller is like one of my favorite comedy actors, and like I genuinely like the stuff that he's directed. I haven't seen all of his TV stuff, but like genuinely big Ben Stiller fan.
Yeah,
and I hate this.
That's why, because I am too. You know, from the Ben Stiller show.
Yeah.
From his brief days on SNL, like
Vision and Jen.
I love him throughout. He can steal the show, and even something like fucking Happy Gilmore, he steals thunder.
Yeah.
When he's leading, he's great. I've nothing bad to say about him, but that's why if it's not a passion and it's not to get something done, it is just cynically done for the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jerry Stiller's dead as well at this point. Is he in it?
He might be in it. No, I seem to remember his character being dead. Is there a joke with? I can't recall. Yeah. Jerry Stiller, I thought, died a couple of years after the film, but the film killed him. That's my my headcanon is he's alive, but told Ben he had something else. So he read the script and was like, sorry, Ben, I'm busy that day.
Dying to say.
We then have Zack Snyder for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. We've spoken about like all the Kevin Smith fans getting mad at me. Do you want to take the floor to say something?
I hate Zack Snyder. Maybe I don't hate him. I once upon a time liked him.
Yeah. When you were a teenage boy.
When I was a teenage boy, and I seen Dawn of the Dead, and before I watched the original Dawn as well, I think I did see Snyder's first, and then went back to watch Dawn. I was like, oh wait, no, I don't like you as much. 300 at the time I enjoyed.
Yeah.
The film that broke me was, what's the fucking insane asylum girls that go into the...
Oh, Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. Yeah. I hate that film.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of the most ugly, fucking insulting, boring, disgusting trash I've seen on a film.
Are you a Legends of the Guardians fan?
I've not seen Legends of the Guardians.
I haven't.
So that no one has.
Like Cahool or whatever.
So like, but like, what, he had a style.
Yeah.
I appreciate style. We talk about Robert Rodriguez and stuff. I like people that have some sort of stylistic flair they can put on things. So when Man of Steel came, we excited we went to see it together because
we were there opening day.
Right, like show me something, someone that's got that stylistic flair or touch or like some creativity.
Yeah.
Get in a Superman film, sign me up. Sign me up, I'm up for it. And it was one of the most miserable fucking times I've ever had. It was funny for bits.
Yeah.
But it was not. It was the antithesis of what I want from a Superman film.
Yeah.
And then
you mean you don't want your Superman not saving people and just kind of lurking in the sky like an inscrutable god?
It's just a fucking weird, like, it's the Jesus moment.
A Superman who's totally like inhuman.
Yeah, like absolutely, like
a guy who was raised to be a robot by Manpa Kent, the humble Candace farmer.
I think this even more so with Batman versus Superman. Like I feel like, I honestly do think you give it an effort, like probably more than Kevin Smith would ever do. But I'm honestly, I'd rather see Kevin Smith's take on Superman.
Oh, that's tough. Maybe if you can combine them. A Kevin Smith script directed by Zack Snyder. Because part of my redemption is like, this has just kind of become images, and I can appreciate Zack Snyder for putting his stamp on a superhero movie. In just the years to come, I've seen so many production line MCU films, and like the idea of like all the stuff I hated about like Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman at the time, like the in your face like Christ allegory stuff. Now I'm like, Scorsese, yes, he's making a personal statement in a. But yeah, you're right. When I think about storytelling,
it's still very
it's like
generous.
3 hour long.
That's
I'm kind of being too kind.
That is also my biggest problem with Schneider, and I haven't seen the Schneider cut of Justice League because you cannot pay me to watch 5.5 hours or whatever fucking.
Okay, we've got it. That's our clip. Social media. And Kyle, do you want to hand out your address? Your first.
I am not.
For the record, I watched Snyder's Justice League. I thought it was an improvement. I restore the Snyderverse. I'm with you. I'm with her. I'm with Zach. Yeah.
No, because I don't like the Justice League. I didn't like, even with cuts. I'm not watching it again, but longer.
So you're Team Whedon. That's what I'm hearing.
Male
feminist Team Whedon. Or else, yeah.
Give me the no cut.
Cut all of it.
Cut all of it.
So next we have Alex Proyas for Gods of Egypt.
I don't know who that is.
I don't think I've seen any other Alex Proyas stuff. The Crow.
Oh, I've seen The
Dark
Crow.
City,
I've seen.
iRobot,
Okay. I have seen. I've seen all those films.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I love The Crow.
And you're going to be watching Gods of Egypt tonight on this.
Yeah. No. Honestly, and what a jump from The Crow as well. The Dark City to iRobot. Yeah. Fuck yeah. I love The Crow actually. So there.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. He's a good. It's not Razzie worthy.
We then have Tyler Perry for Boo, a Medea Halloween.
Oh, it's not the Medea I've seen. Tyler Perry's always popping up here. We're gonna cover him one day. I tell you, a Perry special's happening whether you want to or not. He's racked up all the nominations in every category. Well, we've spoke about him before.
Between us, we've seen 2 Medea films, so we're probably qualified to speak because they're the same.
Yeah, it's just the same shit.
Like, I don't know. Like, it's like fair enough. Like, I kind of like, he knows what they are. He's capable of better, and the Medea films have an audience. So I'm kind of like, for like a white guy like Mr. Raz to just be sticking his head in every year to nominate them. I'm kind of like, I'd rather see the Tyler Perry slot go to someone else.
Yes. I mean, it's like the Ernest films, you know? You make them again, you just spice them up, move them about. Like
there's nothing, like, I don't know, I'm a hypocrite because I go back and forth. I'm like, if you nominate one 50 Shades film, you have to nominate all of them. Or like, how he just kind of gives up on people.
Yeah.
But the Medea films, I'm like, they're there every single year, and from what I gather, there's nothing hugely notable that makes anyone stand out, so it's just odd, really. But interestingly, the idea for Medea Halloween originated with a fictitious Medea movie that was mentioned in Chris Rock's film Top 5. Oh. So we can blame Chris Rock for Boo Medea Halloween.
Deservedly slapped, didn't he? This is for Medea.
We then have Roland Emmerich for Independence Day Resurgence. He's another one who's kind of been rehabilitated by the drought of modern cinema, in that, like, I appreciate anyone who makes any kind of like auteur film. Like, I know a Roland Emmerich film is recognizable.
You can smell it from
which
a mile away.
Now to me is a positive.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Roland. From The Day After Tomorrow to 2012 and to anything, to Moonfall, and not even seen Moonfall. He's not for me. I mean, but he has a style. He has an audience. He's very similar to Tyler in that he knows what he wants to do, and he gets the budgets to do them, and then occasionally just has to do an Independence Day to get that box office back up.
That's the family's back up.
Put some coal in the engine, but yeah.
And so the winner, Dinesh D'Souza and Bruce Schooley for Hillary's America. Moving on to Worst Actor, Ben Stiller for Zoolander 2 as Derek Zoolander. He's dreadful.
Yep.
It's just like sad. He doesn't look like he wants to be there, and it's just weary and sad, and made me confront my own mortality in a way in which made me uncomfortable.
Fair.
Robert De Niro for Dirty Grandpa as Richard Dick Kelly. So Richard Kelly, of course, the director of Southland Tales.
Yes, yeah.
My main criticism here is it's just unbelievable. De Niro as a grandpa, like the man's just having like a kid now. Father, it's like, yeah, exactly. He's nowhere near old enough to be a grandpa. The Dirty Grandpa is like a black ops guy.
Okay.
Like, the Dirty Grandpa is probably like a war criminal.
Okay.
And he, like, the Dirty Grandpa commits hate crimes on, like, one of Zac Efron's friends is... Oh, no, it's not. It's one of the college girls that they're trying to sleep with. There's a gay guy who's black, and you can imagine the Dirty Grandpa gets a lot of material out of that. And then someone else commits a hate crime against the guy, and Dirty Grandpa goes and fights him in the parking lot, and is like, "You're gonna apologize to him that you're from a different age and you don't understand that being gay is nothing to be mocked." And like, there's no selling of an arc in between. It's just like there feels like there could be a really good joke here with someone else having to someone else twisting the Dirty Grandpa's arm. But anyway, the performance It's sad to think of what De Niro's become, but in isolation, I don't think this is bad.
Okay, that's fair.
I think he's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Henry Cavill for Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice as Superman / Clark Kent.
My favorite part of the Schneider Superman films is Henry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think he's great. I think he's a great Superman that's stuck in terrible films.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say a big no here.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like he's give me Superman Returns, but with him, I mean, no offense to Brandon, I love you, but like if you give me that style of film with Henry, I'd have been so happy.
Yeah.
Give me classic Superman, but with Henry Cavill, and I'd be he's great.
Complete agreement. I think it would have been really good to see him act in a movie where he can have a little bit of like the classic Superman sort of like joy and fun, but instead this is just grim and boring. But that's not his fault. He executes the vision to a T. So yeah, undeserving. Gerard Butler for Gods of Egypt and London Has Fallen as Set, and Mike Banning.
Mike Banning's a good name. I'm not the biggest Gerard fan. He's not. I'm not against him. He gets lazy as fuck.
Yeah.
He's a lazy actor. He's just. I mean, I'm not gonna say this as a Seagal fan, but like, I don't want to get too.
A little bit of effort kill you, Gerard.
Yeah. But when are you playing the guitar? You know, like, when you getting a toupee? So yeah, not the biggest fan. That's all I can say.
Yeah. We then have Ben Affleck for Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice as Batman.
Gillet himself.
Wayne.
Yeah. I don't know if you. I don't know how much I spoke about your opinion on it. I don't like Affleck as Batman.
Yeah.
I don't think that's his fault or the film's fault. I think it's just weird miscasting.
Yeah.
I think that's just all it boils down to. He's not a good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And he's an okay Batman. Like I just think it's miscasting. I don't think that's personal against Ben.
I have. This has kind of been thrown back in my face with seeing The Flash last week, where I was like, oh yeah, I really don't think you're that good. Like, he's not bad. It's, again, I think just miscasting of, like, I can't not see Ben Affleck.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's it's a Clooney problem, you know. He's got the bum chin and he's so recognizable, and, like, it's hard not to see Ben Affleck in the role.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, even a Pattinson and even Kilmer, I can buy it. I can get into it and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like, I know Ben Affleck is adored by people who are like, he's the best Batman of all time.
Kevin Smith.
But I've never heard, I've never heard that articulated by someone who doesn't just describe it in the shallowest terms of like, oh man, like his suit, his costume, he's just like the physical shape cool. he's in. Of like, they can't articulate anything about the performance. It's just
100%. And I think that contrasts really bad in this film with Henry.
Yeah.
Because Henry's so good and perfect. He's so perfectly cast, and then someone who's terribly cast, and it's like it makes it stand out even more so. If he had his own little solo film first, it might have covered up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's not good in the role.
And then worst actor, of course, goes to Dinesh D'Souza. So well won.
Well won.
Worst actress, Shailene Woodley for the Divergent series Allegiant as Beatrice Tris Pryor.
No idea. No idea how is she?
I have not seen Allegiant, I don't think. I've only seen Divergent, and in that she was fine. I'm not saying that because she studied at the same acting studio I used to, but it is that, like, she's forced to, like, Divergent is just clearly like, oh hey, that Hunger Games made a lot of money, didn't it? And she's like, so you saw what Jennifer Lawrence did. Do that, please.
Mm-hmm, okay.
She's certainly not bad.
Okay.
Then we have Naomi Watts for the Divergent series Allegiant and shut in as Evelyn Johnston Eaton and Mary Portman.
I haven't seen Shut In. Have you seen Shut In?
I have not seen Shut In. It's about a woman who gets shut in.
Oh, who'd have fucking thunk it? Sorry, you opened that there and I thought it said Charlton Heston. I was like, Charlie Heaton as my dyslexia playing up. You know how much I love Naomi. You know how much she needs a better agent.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so this is like personal for me. I'm like, no, just because I don't want to see her here, but she's probably shit in these, and they're probably shit films. So,
well, I'm just gonna say I very much doubt, like, knowing what I know about Allegiant being like a YA series, I'm willing to bet that she is not the lead.
No,
because Shailene Woodley is the lead, and like she has like sort of peers that are like her supporting characters. I very much doubt she's like, oh hey, my mum's coming along.
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
ride.
yeah, okay.
And then we have Julia Roberts for Mother's Day as Miranda Collins.
100%.
See our discussion on the special. Deserved in terms of caliber of performance, but she's not the lead.
No, it's very true, yes.
Then we have Tyler Perry for Boo, a Medea Halloween as Mabel Medea Simmons.
Yeah. We've covered this before. You see, anytime Tyler Perry pops up, as worst actress, that's our copy and paste our fucking responses each time.
And then we have another favourite here, Megan Fox for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows as April O'Neil.
Oh, I didn't see this one. Did you see this one?
No, I don't. I'm a big Turtles guy, but like I don't like the bald turtles here. They just look a little weird. Not my turtles.
Not my turtles. Yeah, I could buy her as April O'Neil though, so I don't know. I don't.
Could you?
I could.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see it in my head.
Okay.
Like.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be good. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja
I
Turtles.
just think I was going back to like 2007 Transformers. I think Lindsay Lohan would be my April O'Neil.
100. No, I'm not saying I'd pick her. I could see her do it, like, and be like, okay, I can pass.
I think Megan Fox is too cold and aloof, whereas April's like
07, 06 Lindsay Lohan would have been spot on.
Yeah. I'd also probably guess that April O'Neil isn't in the Turtles movie enough to be considered a lead.
Teenage Mutant Ninja April O'Neil.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter because she lost to the Hillary Clintons from Hillary's America. Moving on to Worst Supporting Actor, we have Owen Wilson for Zoolander 2 as Hansel McDonald.
Yep.
Yeah, he's bad.
Yep.
Perhaps not quite as bad as Ben Stiller, but it's certainly sad to see Owen Wilson wasted in that.
Yep.
It's also sad that we learn his name is McDonald because I don't think that's mentioned in the original at any point.
What you said there. Like,
Yeah.
Hansel, it's just Hansel.
Yeah. Then we have Jared Leto for Suicide Squad as the Joker.
Surprised it's I'm surprised it's taken this long to pop up, Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Very surprised.
Because you could do Mr. Razzie bullshit of Affleck's in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, you could easily double on. You could. I mean, I really dislike Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I have almost.
Yeah, hang on. How's David Ayer dodged?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's like this should have popped up before here, before Worst Supporting Actor. This could have been taking 4 categories above it. I hate this film. This is my miserable DC time, isn't it? Like, I'm just miserable. Thankfully, The Suicide Squad has erased most of my memories.
Lucky you.
Yeah. So, other than Jared, though, unfortunately, there's no getting away from he's ingrained into my brain forever now. I hate him. I hate him as an actor. I spoke passionately about how much he can nearly ruin my beloved Blade Runner sequels. He's gonna make me not watch Tron 3.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is a man that can actually turn me away from. This is like the anti-box office draw.
Yeah.
I hate him as the Joker.
Killed John Lennon.
He killed John Lennon. He did everything. You know, like, I can't stand him. And yeah, the Morbius discussion, I think I said the same thing, so I don't want to repeat myself. But yeah, he's very, very, very bad as a Joker.
It's just funny because the Joker's become Hamlet for morons of like, oh wow, are they a good enough actor to take on the Joker? Like, 2 actors have won Academy Awards for playing the Joker, and like, it's like a clown who kills people. It's not that deep.
No,
but it's kind of like I think playing the Joker is probably like a relatively easy thing to do. And yet he just sucks. Like, it's everything about that performance is awful.
Like, I'm not gonna go with like his highbrow acting role in any of this shit, right? But he's the only Joker that I can think of that I actively dislike.
Yeah.
Like, I love Nicholson. I love Cesar Romero. I love Mark Hamill's voiceover.
Yeah.
I love Nicholson. I love Ledger.
Zach Galifianakis, Batman.
I think it's such an easy, like, and you can all have your own twist and interpretation. That's fine. But when you make it annoying, and like, I want to be either in on the joke, pun intended, or intimidated a little bit by your craziness. Yeah. Not want to slap you, you know, like, that's the biggest problem.
Of course, we should mention Barry Keoghan in the Batman, but
I don't get that.
Oh, okay.
I'm not, well, like, come on now, like, that doesn't deleted scene or post credits and all this bullshit. No.
I think part of Jared Leto's problem lies with the writing and his use in the film, and he's clearly suffering from the Snyder grim dark hot topic Joker of like he's not given much to work with, but still it's like he's so boring whenever he's on screen. I was like, the Joker, the one thing he shouldn't be is boring.
Absolutely.
You look at like, I don't know, the cliches, but like how Heath Ledger steals the movie with like 8 minutes of screen time or whatever. Wherever Jared Leto was on screen Suicide Squad, I'm just kind of rolling my eyes, being like, really? Can I move on, please?
100%. And I think, I mean, Nicholson's probably my benchmark, but like, you've got like so much to do and so much places to go, and obviously Joaquin can kind of take his own. That's the thing, like if the Joker film starring Joaquin didn't come out and show, you can still do more, you can still make your own twist on it and make it different and have your own thing. I hate it. Can't say it enough.
It's truly dreadful, particularly when like this was meant, like this inspired all those like memes, like she was his queen and crazier than him, whatever, of like with the DCU and with like the fabulous emancipation of Harley Quinn, whatever, this was meant to sell their relationship, and then the like bad boyfriend, you go girl, you leave him. I was just like, yeah, Margot Robbie, you can do better, because this guy's really boring. Please get rid of him. I don't want to see him ever again. Then we have Will Ferrell for Zoolander 2 as Jacoby Mugatu.
Sad to see him back.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, Will Ferrell, by this point in time, the magic is all gone. And I did not enjoy watching him in this film.
That breaks my heart.
And then we have Johnny Depp for Alice Through the Looking Glass as Tarrant Hightop / the Mad Hatter.
So this is Mad Hatter, isn't he? I haven't seen this. Is the second one. I have not.
Yeah.
I hated the first one so much. The second one's not Burton though, is it?
No, it's by the guy who did The Muppets, I want to say. It's by James Bobbin.
Okay.
So I can't quite remember, but we spoke about like Alice in Wonderland a couple weeks ago for last Airbender year. And the sequel isn't great, but it is better than the original.
Okay.
Just because the original is kind of just like, it's like the Disney live action thing, so it's just kind of delivering what you've seen before, whereas this at least isn't great, but it's something a little new. Once you've not nominated the first one, but yeah, Johnny Depp is the Mad Hatter doing his weird Scottish accent every so often. Not a good performance. Just for him, worthy nomination.
Yep, it's fair.
And then we have Nicolas Cage for Snowden as Hank Forrester.
Oh, I've not seen Snowden. Have you seen Snowden?
I've seen Snowden.
How is he?
He's fine.
Okay.
He's fine. He's like a real small part that just tells Edward Snowden like, oh hey, the NSA's up to some no good stuff. So not that Nicolas Cage is without like immune from criticism, but this is fine, Mr. Razzie. Stop trying to. Kick-Ass 2 was probably around. No, he's not in Kick-Ass 2. No, anyway.
His photo is the best part of Kick-Ass 2.
So that leaves us with the winner. Jesse Eisenberg for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice as Lex Luthor. So they got the wrong DC villain, in my opinion. I like Eisenberg.
Okay.
I think he's kind of hampered by being in a not great movie, but he is leagues clear of the Joker.
That's what I was just going to say. I mean, I don't love him. I think it's the film blurring my opinion of it as well. I think if it was a better film, if it was, again, take him and Henry and put them in something else.
The idea of what if Lex Luthor was Mark Zuckerberg, I think is a good one.
Great idea.
Yeah.
So, but this should be Jared 100 times over. 100 times over.
But apparently Mr. Razzie's pro-pedophile. So.
He didn't watch Suicide Squad though. That's the thing. He knew how to nominate him because of like the memes. But he was like, I'm not watching it because
I'm scared of the Joker. What if he's real? Then we have Worst Supporting Actress. Celia Ward for Independence Day Resurgence as President Elizabeth Lanford. I'm with her.
Yep.
The Independence Day universe has had a Madam President before our one has.
Yep.
Truly a better existence. The aliens did us a favor by blowing up the White House. If that's what we needed to get our act together, then can't really say. Haven't seen it. Haven't seen her in anything.
Nope. Doesn't ring a bell.
Jane Seymour for 50 Shades of Black. That's Claire Black.
I've never. I can assume what it is.
it's
exactly
a movie
what I was
parody of
thinking.
50 Shades of Grey.
With the Wayans?
Like, Marlon.
Yeah, Marlon. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, Sean, which one is it? It's not Damien. Maybe Junior. Yeah. Okay. Again, I have no comment. I never heard about this film until you've.
You can speak about Jane, though. You can speak about Jane.
But like, how she's doing here, and she's how old here at this point?
Oh, she's in her 70s, isn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, she wouldn't be. She'd be in her late 60s by that point.
Okay, even still, right? Like, I don't know Jane Seymour much apart from an obvious one. My beloved Live and Let Die.
Yeah.
Is one of my favorite Bond girls.
Yeah.
If not my favorite Bond girl.
Yeah.
She wasn't a good actress back then, though.
Okay.
Jane Seymour, go back on for a minute. I don't want to sound stupid. Nope, I was thinking of someone else. So I know her as Solitaire. So I don't, and that's what 1972. So I don't know how she's doing 40 odd years later.
Yeah.
And I don't know what she's doing in this. So fair.
Yeah. And I haven't seen 50 Shades of Black, so I cannot comment. Then we have Aubrey Plaza for Dirty Grandpa as Lenore.
Okay.
Aubrey Plaza's good. Like, I'm not like a huge fan. Like, some people just like worship the ground she walks on.
Yeah.
But like, I liked her in Dirty Grandpa.
I like
I
it.
think she's fun.
I'm a fan. I mean,
Yeah.
we're both fans of Parks and Rec from the get go.
Yeah.
Man, everything else I've seen in her has been good.
Yeah.
I am a fan. I have the little hesitation of do something different.
Yeah, like resting on the no, what's she called? April.
Yeah,
Not O'Neill.
Yeah, Ludgate.
Ludgate. Yeah. It sometimes veers close to like that laconic goth girl thing, whatever.
And I honestly think the older she gets, the better she'll get when she has to stay away from that kind of.
I haven't seen Emily the Criminal, which is like her dramatic thing, but like I already in the past couple of years she's been stretching her legs more, and I've been enjoying it.
That's it. So like, if it's in that, I'm still playing April Ludgate. Then I'm whatever.
It's not. She's kind of just like, yeah, maybe a little April, but she's like just hypersexual. She's like, I'm gonna fuck the dirty grandpa, and that's basically her character. But she is funny doing it.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Then we have Kate Hudson for Mother's Day as Jessie. She's bad.
She's
Spoken
bad,
about on the special. Julianne Hough for Dirty Grandpa as Meredith Goldstein. So this is completely undeserved. She's Zac Efron's fiance. She's barely in the film.
Okay.
And she's not doesn't stand out in any way. So this is Mr. Razzie yet again struggling to name 5 women.
Exactly. Talked about it so many times.
Yeah. And then we have the winner, someone near and dear to your heart, Kristen Wiig for Zoolander 2 as Alexania Atos.
So I seen her pictures on the Wikipedia page, and I instantly assumed Ghostbusters for some reason.
Oh.
And I don't mind her in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I
like her in Ghostbusters.
I think she's probably my favorite of the 4, but I could be biased because I'm just a big Wiig man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Kate McKinnon was still novel to me. I like Kate McKinnon in Ghostbusters.
She wears.
She's eating the Pringle.
She wears a little bit on me, McKinnon, but like Wig's the most closest to what like an actual Ghostbuster from the original 2 films would be like.
She could fit into
whereas the other 3 are more like turned up caricatures, and that bugs me a lot more. So her reservedness really makes me go, oh, you're just a bit of a nerd. Like I dig this. So yeah, I'm a big Wiig fan. I've spoken about her before. I adore her. I think she's fantastic. She's fantastic in stuff like Skeleton Twins as well. Like she can do dramatic.
Welcome to Me.
Mother. Fucking love her and everything. I think she's so good. But I don't know how she is in Zoolander 2.
Honestly, I think it's a little unjust that she's the only winner, because like she's, while not great, she's just turning up and camping it up, and she's at least delivering a performance with a little more energy than Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller, who just look tired and like they don't want to be there, whereas she's bringing a little something to it. So yeah, that's not deserved in my eyes, not least when they're Kate Hudson. Then moving on, worst screen combo: Ben Stiller and his BFF, barely funny friend, Owen Wilson in Zoolander 2.
Their chemistry died in the intervening decades.
Yep. And they're at least kind of singing from the same hymn sheet in terms of they both look equally sad.
Yeah, okay. That's funny. That's funny.
Then we have Tyler Perry and that same old worn out wig in Boo, A Medea Halloween. I swear he reuses that exact same wording. Yeah. So yeah, nothing to say. I'd just be using those same old worn out gags which I've used in the past, and I'll probably be using in the future. The entire cast of once respected actors in Collateral Beauty oh shit, we could have had a Will Smith not. So I saw half of Collateral Beauty because this was apparently when I was doing the podcast with Kieran. So I saw, I think, maybe the end, maybe half. Collateral Beauty is insane. And it's got like an all-star cast like Will Smith, Kate Winslet, Edward Norton, Keira Knightley, Helen Mirren.
Jesus Christ.
It's like his son dies or he's in a funk and people agree to like trick him that he's meeting, like, it's kind of like a Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future. People pull a prank on him to try and help him get over the death of his son. It's an appallingly written film and everything in it sucks.
So it's surprising it's popped up this late into the Razzies.
Precisely. Johnny Depp and his vomitously vibrant costume in Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I disagree. I actually disagree with this, even without seeing it, because I can see him in my head in character. Yeah. That's effective.
Yeah.
I will give him that. Like, that's what I would call a Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Look like, so...
Yeah, don't come for Tim Burton's production design team or the costume department. That's
probably the best compliment about it. So no, I disagree with that one.
Yeah, I agree. Wardrobe good on that film. Mm-hmm. Any two Egyptian gods or mortals in Gods of Egypt.
Lazy.
Yet again, name them, single them out. Yep. And the winner goes to Ben Affleck and his BFF, baddest foe forever, Henry Cavill in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
So, like, they need a nom, in my opinion, because they have a weird I feel like they don't fit. I guess.
But they have their mother has the same
name.
Their
mother has the same name.
How much more can you ask for?
My only little footnote here is Mother's Day should be here.
Martha's Day.
Martha's Day. Mother's Day 4 combinations are way worse combos.
Oh, true.
The fact that it proves that he has
racist grandmothers.
Yeah, like they could worst screen combo racist grandmothers from Mother's Day. Yeah. Fucking boom. You could also have taken Dinesh and his relationship with the truth or some shit. I don't know. Like, you could have done something more with them. This is lazy. He is getting very lazy at screen combo here, though. He's reused the same joke. Yeah. So worst screen combo is Mr. Razzie and his reused hash jokes.
Burn.
Golden Raspberries 2016.
Then moving on, we have worst remake, ripoff, or sequel.
Yes.
Zoolander 2. Yeah, the definition of a very, very tired sequel. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Out of the Shadows. Haven't seen it. Nope. Independence Day Resurgence. Haven't seen it. 50 Shades of Black. Haven't seen it. The idea of one of the Wayans, because this is also, I guess they were still ongoing at this point in time, but one of the Wayans being like, oh, we need to do a 50 Shades of Grey. That just seems, Alice Through the Looking Glass, well deserved. Yep. And then winner, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Probably well deserved, I would say.
I mean, I would assume you would have said Zoolander too. I'm missing Ghostbusters in there.
Yeah.
Which, even if you're defensive of Ghostbusters, it is appallingly worse than the original. 2, I'm going to say first, even including number 2.
I think it's an improvement. I think it's what Ghostbusters could have been. Delivers on the promise.
But, Mr. Razzie's not going to dunk on Ghostbusters, so that's fair enough.
Well, because that movie dunks on internet trolls.
Yeah,
if Mr. Razzie dunks on it, you might think maybe he is an internet troll.
Hillary's America should also be here as a sequel.
You're right. Zoolander 2 is much more of a deserved winner because it is a sequel to something that is good, whereas in continuing the Snyderverse, Batman versus Superman, it's kind of like, it would be more of a surprise if it was good almost.
Yeah, 100%.
And then moving on to worst screenplay. Suicide Squad, David Ayer from the characters created by DC Comics. Okay, how have you not nominated it for other things?
It's just got one bad supporting actor in the screenplay, but other than that, it's fucking perfect, mate.
Worst screen combo, Slipknot, the man who can climb any rope and any rope.
Yep.
Katana and her sword, don't get killed by it, or your soul will get trapped inside.
You could pick some. You could
Rick Flag and his exposition.
This could sweep it. This could have swept it.
Granted, these are all lines of dialogue from the worst screenplay, so not that this is undeserved, but it certainly should have been up for other things.
100%.
Then Independence Day Resurgence, Dean Devlin, Roland Emmerich, James Vanderbilt, James A. Woods, and Nicholas Wright. So James Vanderbilt is fascinating because he wrote Zodiac, which is
one of your faves.
Yeah, masterpiece. And then used that goodwill from Zodiac to leap into The Losers, The Amazing Spider-Man, White House Down, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Truth, Independence Day Resurgence, Slender Man,
Wow.
House with a Clock on Its Walls, Murder Mystery, Ready or Not, Scream, and then so on. But like,
did he co-write Zodiac?
no,
All him.
Zodiac was all him.
No Fincher, nothing.
I mean, I'm sure Fincher might have had input, but he's the
Yeah.
only credited writer.
Wow.
And
that is a fall from grace. He's making money though. That's all right.
I think it's just like he busted his ass on that and probably got really deep into reading books about the Zodiac. And I was like, kind of just want to write about Spider-Man, Slender Man.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I would do the same.
Yeah.
You put your heart and soul into one thing and then fuck it.
Just breeze.
It's all
through,
revelations
baby.
from here,
My
baby.
foot is in the door. So yeah, but yeah, haven't seen it, so can't comment. Then we have Hillary's America: The Secret History of the Democratic Party, Dinesh D'Souza and Bruce Schooley. Yeah,
It's my winner.
bad screenplay. Gods of Egypt, Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless.
That's not a real name, is it?
Yeah, so they're a writing partnership, so they have a shared Wikipedia page, and they're a Morbius, baby. Dracula Untold, The Last Witch Hunter, Gods of Egypt, and Morbius. So
They're like
that's the week.
vampires. They're like
Yeah,
spooks. Yeah, fair.
yeah. And they're also writing Madam Web. Because someone saw Morbius and was like, get me more of that. Then we have Dirty Grandpa, John M. Phillips. So the work of one individual, Dirty Grandpa, Auteur Vision, Dirty Grandpa.
Fair.
I mean, they must have done work that's not like enough to be credited, but I am sure someone did punch up of like, there's so many just like observational bits in Dirty Grandpa of like, hey, who raided Liberace's closet? Or like, you look like blank meets blank.
Yeah.
Which I would be surprised if they were in the original screenplay and weren't a studio being like, this needs more comparisons.
100%.
Well, if your character's like, you look like the Monopoly guy.
Yeah.
And the winner, of course, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Chris Terrio and David S. Goyer from the characters created by DC Comics.
Oh, Goyer, how did you fall from grace so far? So quick. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd give this to
Hillary's America
America
over Batman versus Superman. Yeah.
but or Joint. I mean, they're both bad for different reasons.
It's a real hard one to separate.
I mean, flip a coin, wherever it lands. That's the one. Batman versus Superman is a mess, though. I don't want to like understate that.
Yeah.
At least Hillary's America, the history part of it was coherent enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually,
You just took that from a textbook.
yeah, but like, I don't care. He still did it.
Well, it's adapted from his own book, I guess.
Yeah,
so he probably
yeah.
literally did take that.
Just take that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. But this is taken from fucking comics. You could just take these as well and put them on screen. Schneider can do it. Surely he can. Yeah, no, I think this is a massive screenplay. So yeah, I deserved winner.
Yeah. Like we said with the Martha stuff, and like it's poorly engineered because the movie is just like it's trying to do too much of it's like, oh shit, Martha's doing Civil War, quick, we need Batman to fight Superman. What do you mean we don't have a Batman yet? So yeah, it's not, there's a lot of reaching going on there. And then we have Kyle's favorite, Mr. Razzie, come up with a bullshit category, the Barry L. Bumstead Award, which we know that's the movie for someone who goes direct streaming, doesn't have a theatrical release. But no, for a movie that cost a lot and lost a lot. So I've looked it up, and this winner, it's only one nominee, one winner. It's Misconduct, and that had a theatrical release.
Okay.
So like he's changed the
that's not the body.
Because that used to be like the streaming, whereas
the non-eligible awards,
so like you'd singled that out for like, oh, that's good, like that's a good, that's his one good bullshit category. But no, he apparently the Barry L. Bumstead Award is whatever I want it to be that year.
Fair.
So I watched this for the podcast.
Okay. Psychopath.
On a budget of 11 million, it made 2 million.
Okay.
And not a huge budget, but decently big.
He's already fucking up because he said cost a lot.
Yeah.
11 million, even with a loss, is still something you can just swipe under the books. Like.
Yeah. But pretty good when you consider the cast of Glenn Powell, pre-Top Gun, whatever. Julia Stiles, okay, this is sort of post-90s. Malin Ackerman works with Zack Snyder. Alice Eve, that Star Trek money's dried up. Josh Duhamel, okay. Anthony Hopkins, and then budget. Al Pacino.
There's your budget.
Yeah.
5.5 each.
Exactly.
There we go. Was that any good?
No. It's also not bad enough to be like, it's just nothing. And they do the heat shot at one point. There's the diner where like, and they do it like the shot cuts.
With Hopkins.
No, it's like Pacino and Josh Duhamel, I think. Okay. And it cuts way too soon. It's an abrupt cut. Like the shot only lasts like 3 seconds or something. So it really draws your attention to it in the way that you're like, you've just done this, so you've got the heat shot.
Yeah. Why would you do that?
So I also think Pacino should have been nominated because while I stood up for De Niro, I think Pacino, like De Niro's as good as Bad Grandpa will let him be, whereas Pacino is just like, he's checked out.
Yeah.
He's like,
fair.
Like even when De Niro's in like Bad Material, I think he's still kind of.
It can be.
Yeah.
He can be. Like, yeah. I am equally split on Pacino and De Niro.
Yeah. I think
De Niro does.
At his best, I prefer Pacino. I think Pacino's heights are higher than De Niro's for me.
Lower lows.
But they're also lower lows.
Yeah. I agree with that.
That would be my take. And then we conclude with the Razzie Redeemer Award, which went to one Mel Gibson from Worst Supporting Actor nominee for The Expendables 3 to directing Hacksaw Ridge. So that must be the shortest lived.
Yeah.
So Expendables 3, 2014, 2 years later.
Yeah.
Come on in, anti-Semites.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Fucking Redeemer. Like,
your wife's going to get raped by a... What?
Is that Gibson's only... Surely he had something before that.
No.
Fuck off. Yeah. Like, wow. I thought there would have been Passion of the Christ director noms or something popping up.
So.
Just because
he doesn't want to rile up the Christian crowd.
He doesn't want to rile up Mel Gibson. You can't redeem something you were nominated for 2 years ago.
Yeah. Like all those years in the wilderness.
Yeah. Like no.
I felt that the bit where I was cast out of Hollywood for my anti-Semitic rant, drunken abusive rant at my wife. Oh, that was nothing. But when I got that Razzie, when I was in the Razzie Bad Books for 2 years, I thought I'd never work again.
It's got to be done. Like, and I like this award when done right, but like, it has to be that like Eddie Murphy sort of. I've done nothing but shite, and now I'm coming back to do something that people are gonna love, or something that is just to get your name back critically and commercially.
Yeah.
To relaunch it. Like, there's so many of them as well. Like, and I agree for all of them. I disagree with this one. And he's like fucking barely in Expendables 3 as well. Like, I'm not,
Like, you would tell me that, and I would be like, okay, he's won that award because he's a terrible human being, as opposed to like a bad actor, because he's not bad in Expendables 3 and he's barely in.
Yeah, he's barely in.
And so you'd think that's a moral worth nomination. And so for him then to be redeemed, I'm like, okay, why?
Whatever.
Yeah. So... I don't know. Weird year.
Weird year. Very weird year. Very weird. But yeah, strongly disagree for that.
Yeah. And that brings us to an end of another episode. And next week, we're going to be coming back to you with another special. So this is where we take a break from the scheduled year by year, working our way through the Razzie winners. And we tackle another area of bad cinema, which we might not otherwise get to delve into. And so this is my suggestion. I saw this a week or two ago. It's a recent release from this year. Saw it in theaters, Hypnotic. And I was watching this film just laughing my ass off, thinking, we have to cover this.
Can't wait.
Because this is a perfect intersection of, this is the ideal Jericho and Kyle film.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big Chris Nolan fan, and this movie so desperately wants to be a Chris Nolan movie, but due to the fact that it's directed by Robert Rodriguez,
due to the fact you watch
you are a big fan, this ends up being like a Nolan movie made for imbeciles. Well, no, it's ridiculous.
Rodriguez could do Tenet, right? But can Nolan do Spy Kids 3? Like, come on now.
Sure as hell could not. Spy Kids 4 coming to IMAX. So yeah, join us next week when we're going to be watching Hypnotic. In the meantime, as we said, you can hit us up at watchingworstfilms@gmail.com or Watching Worst on social media. And we'll see you then for Hypnotic.
See you then, guys. Looking forward to it.